happy hour is open and we are serving all kinds of beers tonight. What is going on, folks? Welcome back to another Thursday night happy hour live stream. Myself, Todd in the house. Mal should be here at some point, I believe. And we'll see who else we may have popped through. Although Todd's going to be here maybe for a short stint tonight so he can go root for his Hoosiers. His Hoosiers.
Yeah, time of year, you know. Might be the last game to get to watch them play this year, so might as well watch them, I guess.
Yeah. Might be. I mean, technically, West Virginia's last game was the night that Bobby Huggins got a DUI, really. I mean, the whole season just kind of drug through. It was just like, put us out of our misery. Somebody just take us out to the field and just pull the trigger because we're done this year.
His name's been tossed around the last few days for the Louisville job.
Really? That would be interesting.
I'm thinking I looked him up. I think it said he was 70 years old. I'm like, why would you hire a 70-year-old?
One of my advisors told me that today. I was talking to, and they're like, "Isn't he kind of old to be getting a new job somewhere?" I'm like, "Well, I mean, there's some guys that are in that age. I mean, he wants that championship. That's all he needs he needs a championship. That's all he needs, and he'd be done."
I mean, ours, Woodson, he's 68, I think, or 67. So it's not like he's a young pup by any means either. And this is first time coaching college. Well, not this year, but season now. But still, it's like
he was like. My guy brought up, he's like, yeah, that's like Patino at St. John. Like, Patino's just out there trying to just do something with the end of his thing because he's already got the titles, all that kind of stuff. Now he's just like, I got nothing to do. I said, it's probably his wife wants him out the house. Like, go do something. Get away from here,
Well, when he was here, she was never around anyway. She was always up in New York at the, doing her own thing or whatever. It's like, I'm not even probably why he got caught at the Italian place when he did.
He's probably like, it's my turn for an affair. You go somewhere else.
Exactly.
But so I don't know. I saw the biggest booster for WVU came out saying Huggins shouldn't have a job anywhere. So that would be interesting how it plays out. I don't know. They fired the interim coach Monday, which was only a matter of time. So he tried to do what he could do with what he had, but he wasn't going to make it. He wasn't well enough known. And thing is, we came in with like half the team couldn't even play like the first 15 games because of all the NCAA type stuff for the transfers. Right. So it's like our season was tight from the beginning. So
we've been there and done that, through the years. So it's like we ain't been worth a shit since Bob Knight got, fired way back when. I think he put the curse on the program.
Yeah, you don't put enough money in the right hands in NCAA, they'll bury you. So I said it.
Administration and don't get two shits about basketball, and that's the last thing they want to be good again because they have the fear of it being, the front of the school, being known for basketball, and that was it. And they don't want that, and that's been prevalent pretty much ever since.
True, very true. And shout out to the chat as well. And Vanessa, I knew you would put that there, but that's not an answer. You can't go with that. That doesn't work. So for the poll, you only get.
I didn't see it. I haven't seen it.
So you had to choose for St. Patrick's Day. Choose between Guinness Draft or Murphy's Dry Irish Stout because they're both dry Irish stouts. I knew Vanessa would try to put 4 extra out. Like, no, you can't. That's not the answer. You're not allowed to plug it in. You got to choose between one of the two. Yeah.
That wasn't one of the options.
She was looking for an easy way out.
It's like all the above. That'd be my answer. All the above.
Yeah, 4 extra stout kind of skews it if you put that in there. But that's not a dry Irish stout. So.
Up, Shane?
Cheers, guys. Just about Rocket League tournament, but we'll be back after I lose. Hello, cheers. All right, Shane. I played Rocket League, I think, once or twice. I never really got into it as much. Have you ever done that, playing that on PlayStation? With the cars and the balls? Like it's like a soccer game with cars and a giant ball.
I was going to say, what's Rocket League? I didn't know. No, I have not.
Yeah. It's got a pretty good following. A lot of people do like to play it. I just never got fully into it.
Huh. Never tried it.
Yes, hello and good evening to everyone. Yes. Rod and Todd. Yes, Vanessa. Cheers. Kettlehead in the house. Cheers, Kettle. And back to Kettle. Back to Vanessa. Need to buy a new truck and a trailer and travel the country, hunting, fishing, and visiting breweries. That's a lifestyle right there. I can get into that for sure.
There you go.
That's some fun times. Not a vacation since 2010. You're way overdue, Vanessa. And I said
No
14
kidding.
years. Wow. She always like building stuff. That probably is like you probably get one more project. Once she gets done a project, she's doing another project, and it's another process. She
I
never.
know. Yeah, it's like,
You gotta take a break. You gotta take a break.
Yes, go vacation.
Kettlehead speaking of Hoosier Game Day Lager as we speak. So there's Hoosier Nation in the house.
There you go. Nice.
Are you pulling for the Hoosiers tonight, Kettlehead? Okay, the first answer as Guinness, of course. So she did say Guinness, so she did go with the Guinness draft over the Murphys. Right now,
I'm kind of leaning Murphys, but
right now it's 57 Guinness, 43 Murphys.
I'm kind of leaning Murphys at the moment.
Yeah, and consider this is the Guinness draft, so they're not all the same. It's not the Foreign Extra. It's not the Extra Stout. It's just the regular Guinness draft. Right. Yeah. So Guinness draft versus Murphys, and I know some people are this way, and I know like talking especially to some of the UK guys, like some of them prefer Murphys to Guinness. So
I'm kind of thinking. I had a friend of mine, one of my best friends, him at the time, his wife at the time, they went overseas and actually went to a Guinness brewery over there, and he's like, it ain't nothing like the Guinness we drink in America. He's like, that's like shit water compared to what you get on tap and stuff there. I was like, I'll guarantee you this.
Oh yeah, and again, I might kick you out the pub if you serve that over here. Yeah. Let's see. She was the first to vote when she chose Guinness. There you go. More people are voting on there now. Rocket League ever launched model rockets with homemade rocket engines? Not that far. I mean, when I was a kid, they had the little things that you could get as a toy. And you shoot them in the air. I forgot what those things were. You know what I'm talking about? Like the little white rocket.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's about as far as my rocket experience. Like although speaking of rockets, SpaceX, they launched a rocket today and then they lost it. Like, how do you lose it? They lost it. They lost it because the systems went out to connect back here. But I'm like,
how do you lose the rocket?
They shot it and everything. They were reporting everything like that, and like
where'd it go?
The visual stuff went out, and they're like, "Oh, we lost it." They're like, "What do you mean you lost it? It was great." Like once they got out of eyesight, they don't know where it's at right now. It's just floating out there in space, I guess. So trying to locate it. Maybe somebody in the space station will be like, "Hey, I see it. I can let you know where it's at."
Yeah, it's going right towards me.
The takeoff was great. It was in the air. We have a problem. Like, what do you got? Like Alaskan Airlines people working for you now? You're losing shit off the damn rocket. Should have checked those bolts. With Alaskan Airlines, they had another thing today too. Like some student pilot tried to crash the cockpit or whatever on one of their planes, like trying to break in. Like, what is going on with Alaska Airlines that they are always having these issues? Would not catch me riding with them, flying with them.
No kidding.
They'll have smokers on board? That would be very nice.
I mean, does anything surprise you at this point, right?
No. With Vanessa? No, not at all. Kettlehead says, I love IU. So there you go.
Ooh, there we go.
I think my camera's with a max headroom or something right now. Does it look like weird when I'm talking? Is it like... Was it just me on my side?
Well, a couple times you froze a couple times, but I can still hear you talk, but your picture froze.
That's just weird. So make sure I got the right setting on there for the camera. Yeah.
So I don't know if it has anything to do with that or not, but
technology, man, technology. It's just weird, but yeah, everything seems like it should be working. It might be streaming, or it might be the internet or something.
So where's Kettle? Where you live at? Where are you from? To be an IU fan.
Yeah. I thought wasn't he like north of you in Indiana, maybe?
I don't know. That's why I was wondering. Maybe he is in Indiana. I'm not sure.
So I think last week we were kind of talking about some of the breweries or so.
Yeah, I mean, actually say that. That's possible. Yeah, that kind of rings a bell a little bit.
But then again, we're always talking about breweries because it is a beer show. Well, starts out to be a beer show, then we see where it goes. Guinness Draft. Guinness Draft was my go-to for decades. Too many Irish puns up in here. Yeah. Guinness Draft, that's where I kind of started there. It's funny, just like Guinness Draft, but once I got to the extra stout, it kind of spoiled me on the Guinness Draft.
Yeah.
Although I do like their Antwerpen stout and I like their porter and some of the other stuff, but it's hard for me to go. But the Guinness Draft just seems so basic now. Like it just doesn't do anything for me as much.
I mean, it just seems like a dark Miller Lite or something, sort of. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Kind of.
Actually, less calories, so better for you probably than a Miller Lite too.
Yeah. But you're right though. Once you have the extra or whatever, it's like, what's up,
Yeah.
Rusty?
Rusty in the house. Cheers, homie. Vanessa says, you ever created your own rock? Now, why would we create our own rocket fuel, Vanessa? You know the answer to that question already.
I think she likes the answer because she knows what the answer is, or asks the question because she knows the answer already.
Now you're just messing with us there.
Yeah. We get it, Vanessa. We get it.
Third rocket of that type that blew up. Yeah. Did the rocket blow up today, though? I thought it just got lost. I didn't think it blew up, at least, unless they said something since this afternoon. Because they did have the one SpaceX where it did do that. McGuire's from Aldi is better than Guinness. Oh, well, yeah. McGuire's another one that people do get, too. If you have an Aldi that serves beer, you might find that there.
Yeah, I had that last year. I haven't got it. He told me about it. He's like, go get it this year, and I didn't. But well, actually, I did have one at his house. So
yeah, great to see you too, Patrick. And audio and visual seems okay. Well, maybe it's just my screen that's kind of quirky because it was doing something early before we got on with the mic too, and I had to fix that. So
yeah, so you look quicker. I was just the only thing I saw. Then just a couple times you froze. Not know if anybody else experienced that, but
yeah, technology. Yeah. 2024 and shit's still breaking down. So it's kind of like that work earlier today trying to do something. And they're like, well, let's see if we can get this to work. We'll try to see if it goes in our system. I'm like, it's a JPEG. How can you not do a JPEG into the system now? Like they're like, oh, sometimes it doesn't come through right. Like, what are we looking like? A 1980 DOS system or something?
Yeah,
how are we not doing a JPEG into, we're freaking almost $1 billion whatever corporation, and we can't get a JPEG to file in? Come on, man.
Commodore 64.
I just told that guy, oh, it don't work now. I can't do my soundboard. My soundboard's off. Never mind. I'd say you're fake news, but I can't even do the fake news right now because the sound thing's off. What is going on? I'm having all kinds of difficulty right now. I think it was something with the voice mod program. I'll have to look at that there later. But oh well, it is what it is. Aubrey in the house. Cheers, Aubrey. Great to see you, buddy. Vanessa in the house. Ever program an actual analog computer for the second order differential equations used in missile guidance? Fun stuff. 1976 on UConn's then brand new engineering 2 building computers. I don't even know why you bring this to us again, Vanessa. Like,
now you're just teasing.
Now you're just teasing. Yeah, it's like
showing off. We love you, Vanessa. It's awesome.
It's like asking a henchman, have you ever done this before? No, you're the leader. Why would I do that? That's why I got you around. Why would I need to do that?
Yeah, exactly.
Shane said, oh, he lost the first round. Ouch. So Shane was out early. That's all right, brother. Now you can just crack a beer open with us. Speaking of cracking open a beer, I'm going to crack open a beer right now.
So I was thinking, I was looking at this like, it's about time.
This is one I just picked up last weekend at a new beer store that I went to. Actually, Dogfish Head people were there too. And went in, was talking to the guy there, and I ended up meeting the owner, all kind of stuff. But I ended up just grabbing this out there, like trying to talk more. So I had the wife in the car. I couldn't stay long because sometimes you're in a beer store, you're in there a while. But one from Old Stomping Grounds for me, Great Lakes Arctic Ancient Imperial IPA.
Nice.
Wicked looking can there with the artwork. Great Lakes, that's pretty cool looking.
That is good looking can.
Yeah. This one comes in 8.5% ABV, 45 IBU. And I was wanting an IPA when I saw this. Actually, it was a pretty good deal. I got the 4-pack. And it was, I think, $11.99 or $12.99 for 4-pack of the pint cans. So, yeah, so I got this and the other one I'm going to drink here in a bit, which is where's Joe at? A coconut stout. Maybe Joe. If you say coconut enough times, Joe will pop up. So,
yeah.
He's just appear. Somebody say coconut? Yeah. So that's what I'm cracking open for my first beer of the evening. And what do you got there, Todd? Oh, just the way to hit you with the fumes.
So I got one in your old stomping grounds also. This is from Rheingeist.
Oh, that is my old stomping grounds.
This is the barrel-aged Cafe Ink.
Ooh. Have you had the Ink series before?
I have, yeah.
Okay.
I don't know that I've had the barrel age. I think I just had the regular version of it.
Yeah, you're in for a
This
treat there,
is
my friend.
Imperial Stout aged in bourbon barrels with coffee, and the barrels came from New Riff, which is
Hmm.
is
Also
New Riff.
stomping grounds. New Rift
Yeah,
Distillery in Bellevue, right by Newport.
that's what I was thinking. I was trying to think which way it was. I couldn't remember if it was towards Lexington or towards Cincinnati.
Yeah, right across the river from Cincinnati.
Yeah, yeah. I knew it was somewhere in the area. So then this one's 12.5% ABV. It says vintage 2023 on the bottle. Even though I just bought it.
Okay.
Maybe in age 12 months. So it's got it on the label right there. So
Nice.
I figured
Yeah, I
since I'm
had.
on here for an hour, well, not that. I mean, I've started off with bigger ABVs before, but it's a little bit bigger than just your 12 ounces or 16 ounces. So, like
Yeah, I've had the base Cafe Inc., which is pretty good.
Yeah, I think that's all I've had too. I have to look and see. I don't remember
And that
having
and that was at 10% ABV on that one. So you got the one that's at 13.
the original was great, from what I can remember.
There's our third wheel.
Hey,
What's
guys.
happening?
No,
Yeah, but that is a smooth beer.
let's see. Cafe Inc. I know I had the original, but I don't think I've had this one.
Yeah, I don't think I've had that barrel age. I've had some of their other series they've done on stuff though.
I feel like I might have had the regular just at a beer fest. I don't know if I know I had it. Yeah, let's see. I don't have it checked in, but I do remember having it. I think it was at Tailspin several years ago, actually.
Mm.
That was one of their big ones. Rheingeist brought with him was the cafe, or was the ink. No. Can you still get the regular one? Is that a normal?
You should be able to. Yeah, the barrel age is like a limited release special when they bring up the other ones usually out. What's the word of the day, Mal? What's going on? You're so quiet there.
Not actually feeling great.
Oh, I was gonna say I didn't know if you were like feeling well or not. There, you were so quiet, and you look like you're a little sad.
I think I might just be stopping in for a little bit today because otherwise I'm going to be interrupting with coughing. It's not great.
Yeah, no. If you don't feel good,
And I'm off the beer for right now, so I got my little Diet Pepsi going. This is my treat for drinking nothing but tea and water all day, so I'm getting a Diet Pepsi as a surprise for myself.
That's the treat of the night there.
It is. But it's been about, I'd say about 3 days, and I haven't been going into work because obviously I don't want the entire town that I work in infected with whatever I have. It's just a cold, no fever or anything, but it wiped the floor with me, so I'm a little. Whew.
Ooh, yeah. Little chicken noodle soup.
Oh, yeah, the chicken noodle soup. Actually, I've been ordering the egg drop.
Oh, yeah, you are the egg drop. We talked about that last week. You're an egg drop fan,
egg drop
too.
soup girl, yeah.
Yeah.
And I can't stand up long enough to make it myself, so I'm just ordering it right now.
Well, I don't want you to put yourself through any pain or anything.
What you got you for? He's supposed to be doing all that for you.
He's at work right now.
No, I know.
But I do put him to work when he's here, so
there you go.
I'm taking advantage of that whole husband thing. Sorry. I didn't get to the mute button in time.
What?
Sorry, I used to run to the mute button in time. It's all right.
Oh.
Yeah. I just feel bad. I don't want you to have to be there if you don't, get some rest.
No kidding.
Yeah, well, that's part of why I was actually late getting on today. I fell asleep in the armchair and I woke up and I went, it's 7:09. I messaged you saying, I'm on my way. So I've been mostly sleeping for the last 3 days. And the idea of coming on a live stream with no makeup and my hair gross was kind of upsetting to me, but I don't care because it's you and I'll be here for you.
Oh, we're all fam here. So yeah, I appreciate it. But I don't want you to put through the dedication with you and Todd. I tell you, it's kind of like I feel honored. Like Todd's like, I don't know, man, Indiana. Like, dude, it's okay. I understand. He's just, maybe I'll come in the first hour. All right, it's all your call.
I was in at work and I was like, well, I'm not doing nothing from 8 to 9. I was like, I could get on there and drink a beer or something for, I just want to watch the game. I mean, I can put it on in the background, but I know how that goes. I'll never end up watching it. So. Like, nope, I got to turn it off and watch the game. I want to watch the game. Like,
people probably watching thinking he must be paying Mal and Todd a nice little chunk. I'm like, no, they're doing it all for free. They're just dedicated that way.
we just love hanging out with you, man.
Yeah.
And that goes for you too, Todd. I like hanging out with you guys. I look forward to Thursday nights with you guys.
I too. I'd appreciate you guys being here. Speaking of old bands back together a little bit, so we were gonna do it this Wednesday, but we couldn't do it because he had something pop up. But Tom actually has to come on his thing, so I'm gonna be on his show next Wednesday. We're gonna do like a pub episode next Wednesday night.
Nice.
So
I was gonna suggest. I was like, you should ask Tom to come on as a guest on one Thursday night.
Yeah.
You
never
know which way it's gonna go though.
never know. Then get him and Jay on again. That'd be that was a classic episode. I should go. If I can remember what episode that was, I can go back and pull the footage of that and just be like, "You remember that time?" And just be like, "That was crazy."
Remember back in the day though, when we used to go, it was like 8 deep in here and be like.
Oh, back in the hangout days, yeah, we'd be going, yeah.
That's where I didn't even know what Joe looked like. Him, Joe, and then what's his name? He doesn't even have a channel anymore. I don't think. What's the one that did jerky all the time? What was his name? The elder guy.
Oh, Dio. He's still around. He doesn't do his channel as much.
No, what?
Yeah,
he was out in
Texas.
Yeah.
Yeah. The Dio is what his nickname is. Drunken one. Drunken one. He goes by Dio. Yeah.
I was gonna say when you said Dio, I was like, no, then Drunken one. Yeah, Drunken.
Yeah. That's what his nickname is. But yeah, when he went to church,
neither one of them were even on camera. Joe or Drunken one.
Yeah.
And Tom would jump on, and it was like a bunch of people, and you couldn't ever get a word in. That's what
8 people is a lot. It's hard to hear everybody during that.
It was. I'm not even sure.
There's a reason I limit it now, but nowadays you still like 10 on like a StreamYard. It gets kind of when people are drinking, it gets kind of crazy. So
especially when you had Jay on there and Tom going at it, was like, good Lord. Nobody getting no word in anyway.
I just have Craig on there putting his head down all the time. Like,
what
is going on?
You just sit there and just listen and drink beer and be like, all right, time to go. 4 hours later, and I say one word.
Yeah. This is actually funny because I just actually, and I might do a live stream tomorrow or Saturday. I haven't decided yet, but they sent me a thing like my 9-year anniversary being this week. I can't believe I've been on YouTube for 9 years.
Crazy.
Oh, that's cool! Congratulations.
Yeah. Awesome. So. But I may go back and pull up some of the old footage or some of the old videos or something to share if I do like a live stream, kind of like from back then, some of the early videos, some of the old hangout type stuff. I'm debating what to do with it, but I'm like, I should do like an anniversary live stream because I like I said, 9 years is a long time. Like I wasn't expecting. I don't know what I was expecting when I first started doing it. I mean, as far as growth type thing, but now it's like there's other goals I have that I'm trying to do that are just like totally different that I would never thought of when I first launched this thing. And seeing them.
Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, just seeing some of the people that have gone and come, and it's just like, it's just funny to be still out here doing this. And thankfully for everybody that still follows and supports, it's been great. But it's just like so many different things over the years,
Yeah. I was just gonna say, I was like, how long has Joe had his channel now? 4 years or so, you think?
Joe's probably 3 or 4 years, probably, or something like that, and everything.
I was just thinking, remember back when when he was just trying to, contemplating on whether getting one, and then it was just gearing towards setting it up. It's like, seems like doesn't really seem that long ago, and it's like for him to have a channel that long already. It's like, geez, when he said 9 years, and I was thinking,
Well, he's been around YouTube for 10, 11 or whatever. Because he was with Nick and all of them out of Canada doing stuff. So even before I met them and stuff. So
he's been around it for a while. Like I said, we were doing hangouts with him before it was even showed his face on camera.
Yeah.
For a long time.
But being back then,
you have to let me know when you and Tom do the live thing. I did a live with him.
Yeah.
I've done a live with him a couple times, and probably in the last 4 or 5 months, I guess.
Well, I think I'm gonna have a channel before Chi will show his face on mine.
Yeah.
I think
that's for sure.
With Tom, I think it's going to be next Wednesday, and I'll probably share at some point when he gives me the time officially. But I think it's going to be like 7:30 or 8 our time.
Oh, okay.
Because it'll be 6:30 or 7 for him. So he's an hour behind us. So he's in Mal's time zone. But that'll be fun. It'll be like for about an hour or so that we'll shoot the shit and talk about stuff. But
I think he's working at a brewery now too.
Yeah, he's got to have some changes where he's actually working. I think he's working maybe 1 or 2 of them. I think. I think he switched from his other job to do some stuff. So yeah, which his other job I thought was at a brewery too before, but yeah, he's had some stuff going on taking place. Let's see, missiles and rockets have a long history with me way before my math teaching days. Why am I not surprised? Because you're making stuff to blow up things. First actual U.S. Air Force base was Strategic Air Command. I watched how to use shaving cream to make swirl dye designs on leather.
I've seen that before.
Yeah.
Well, I've seen people dip like their tennis shoes in them, like Adidas or something, like white leather, and come out all, like tie-dyed.
I've never seen anything like that before. That's interesting.
Pretty cool. Yeah.
Hello to Shane. And hey, Vanessa, I have used shaving cream method to dye golf discs in the past. Works pretty well. I've not known about this whole shaving cream dyeing method that people are using. Shane says, hi, Mal, in all caps because he's very excited to see you. Never gives us all caps. I'm just saying.
If the shaving cream is doing the leather, what's it doing to our skin?
Yeah. It's like, well, I was gonna say you're drinking a Pepsi now, but it's like a Pepsi or Coke. If you can clean out the car engine, what's it do inside your body? That's gotta be some tough acid we got, I guess. I don't know. Counteract it.
Cleans your batteries.
My coughing has not stopped since December. Dreading my med appointment at the VA. Oh, hopefully it goes all well tomorrow.
Yeah, I hope it goes good.
Hey, what's up, Beardy? Cheers. And see, Beardy's over there across the pond, and he says, I did the vote wrong. Murphy's is better than Guinness. Does it not let you change your answer once you put it in? You're kind of locked in on it, like final answer, maybe?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Didn't that happen to you one time? It kind of locked you in on the wrong thing or something?
It may have a while back, but right now, Guinness is 62 to Murphy's 38. Not to put an asterisk out there because Beardy had it the wrong way.
Yeah. Recount.
He's going to be like Trump. I got to challenge the results.
If it comes down to 50-50, you know where it's a tie. You're like, no, Murphy's wins. You got to put that vote. You got to swing the vote the other way.
I just need 3 more votes for Murphy's because I know Murphy's won. Just 3 more, and I'm good to go.
What kind of rigged shenanigans you pulling here?
In 2 weeks, I would try to procure more Utopia. There are still 4 left. Wow, it's not going fast there. Okay, let's get down to brass tacks. How much for Mal to shotgun a ginger ale? Hello, gang.
What's up, Emerson?
Hello.
Emerson, you can't afford it. I swear.
I get ginger ale. Well, he's going to say root beer because root beer would have beer in the word. So,
well, I don't have ginger ale at home. So if you hand deliver a ginger ale to my door tonight, I will shotgun it on screen.
Uh-oh, challenge.
Uh-oh. He'd be like, let me get DoorDash real quick. Vanessa opened her channel back in 2014. She actually opened a year before I did there.
Nice.
Hey, Mr. B in the house. Cheers. Good evening and cheers. I wonder who Mr. B will pick because Mr. B's overseas too. Make sure you vote in the poll, Mr. B. Is it Guinness or is it Murphy's? Because he might lean Murphy's too.
I like Murphy's.
Got John in the house. The Still Brewing Review. What is up, my friend? Down there in, how do you say it, Todd? Louisville or Louisville?
Louisville.
He says Louisville. Louisville. Actually, he says Louisville.
I never say
Louisville.
Yeah.
Louisville or Louisville.
You've been listening to Roxanne Shante too much, Todd. Just saying.
She does say Louisville all the time. Yes. There's some. I forget what that guy's name. He calls in all the time. She's like, she always says, "Home of the great one." Muhammad Ali from Louisville. Yeah. I'm like, it's not Louisville.
Oh,
No,
great to see
John
you, John.
Luis Villet.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there you go.
Yeah.
Put a little French into it or something.
Yeah.
And if y'all haven't checked out John, distilled, brewed, and reviewed whiskey, beer, coffee. I think you're doing wine as well. So anything that can be drunk, drinking, he's actually doing. So make sure to check him out there too. And it makes Mr. B as well. They are. He's a pretty organized kind of guy. Yeah.
I
he's
know,
pretty
right?
Organized.
Yeah, it's great.
Where is Murphy's made?
Ireland.
Murphy's is
Isn't
yeah. I think it's either Ireland or UK. It's one of them.
Yeah.
Probably it's a dry Irish stout. I would think Ireland is what I want to say, but I don't know if that might have been something that they did there.
I had to put my vote in, so I try, get it over the hump there, but I'm still behind.
And see, Mr. B didn't let me down. He said Murphy's, so I knew he was going to go Murphy. Everybody that know over there is going Murphy's. So
yeah, it's 59% to 40.
Give me that Addy, Mal. He's gonna DoorDash it up for you.
Once again, I discussed this. You have to contact me privately. I'm not just posting my address here in the chat for everybody to see. Same with the phone number, same with the email. None of that is happening. You can message me elsewhere, not here.
555-123-456.
Jenny, I got your number.
Wait, no.
I got it. I got your number on the wall.
Remind me not to sing.
Right now, so Guinness is 59%, and Murphy's is 41%.
Yeah.
Well, are you talking the companies or the specific beer?
The
specific beer. Guinness Draft or Murphy
Guinness
Dry
also
Irish
makes
Stout.
Harp, because Guinness also makes Harp, and I would take a Harp over a Murphy's. So
yeah, but I was only going dry Irish Stout.
I got you.
Yeah. But because
Vanessa
tried to slide in 4 extra stout, I'm like, no.
Yeah,
no,
trying to slide that in there.
We're not putting 4 extra stout in this one.
Yeah, because if it was companies, I would lean Guinness. With it being beer specific, it's always going to be Murphy's.
Yeah,
I agree.
Would you have to get dressed there or something?
Let's hope so.
Well, he can't hear me now. You can't hear?
I can hear fine. What's going on?
Oh, okay. You're in the audio at first, and then you're like delayed. Are you in a delay again?
No.
Oh, okay.
No delay today. I was actually just trying to reach to grab my vape. Hang on a second.
Yeah.
There we go. Now I got everything all mostly organized here, I think.
Did you change to a different room, or did you put a new background up? Is that really a real fireplace?
No, it is actually. I just did a video. I'm actually sitting on the opposite side of the bar that I usually film. So, and I never sit here. Like this is might be the 3rd time I've actually physically sat at my bar as opposed to sitting behind it. So I figured, you know what? Change it up a little bit, get the fire going.
You're facing the bottles now. Interesting.
There you go.
Yeah. The bottles are in front of me. Yeah.
Yeah. There you go.
Yeah. So it's kind of cool.
Shane giving us a new perspective there. All right, I can dig it.
Change it up every once in a while, right? You know.
Hey Shane, I think you just borrowed Todd's green screen curtains. That's all.
No, that's my fireplace.
If Shane would have had curtains behind him on a plain wall, that would have been hilarious.
For starters, my green screen is over here. Okay, it's way over there. So there you go.
Yeah, I know you voted, but yeah, Guinness 4 extra stout. That's always gonna be top dog though. But yeah, that's a sweet stout though. Murphy's brewed in Cork, but owned by Heineken. There you go. Hey, what's up, Mercy? Good evening. No Beamish option. Hosting Harry Blue Nose reviews for beer. Oh, nice. I wonder what Adam's going to put. Adam, are you going to put Murphy's or are you going to put Guinness? If you have to choose between the two on the poll, because Adam's overseas as well, so he might choose Murphy's too. I think Murphy's might be getting the overseas vote.
I got my vote. I voted too. So,
what are you drinking there, Shane?
Actually, I just finished this. I'm going to open up a new one, but I just finished this bourbon barrel-aged porter from Three Daughters. That I got
down in Florida.
Down in Florida.
I've actually been to that brewery.
Did we go to that one? I don't remember. I don't think we did.
We're in Florida.
That's over on the Clearwater side.
Oh, okay.
I don't know where Dave's. I think Dave's north of that though. So
probably he's like south central. He's like hour and a half hour and a half south of Orlando or so.
Yeah. It's a cool
Without
little
giving away-
brewery off the beach, off the Clearwater Beach area.
Nice. I might check that out next time I'm there. But no, I'm about to crack open everybody's favorite up here, the Flying Monkeys Juicy Ass. Because there's no better name. There's no better name than Juicy Ass for a beer.
Right.
Well, it depends. Does it taste like what it's called?
I would hope not, but you know.
No,
Yeah,
it is juicy though. It is juicy. I'll give you that.
but no ass.
Have you not had this one, Mal? Have you not had this one, Mal?
I don't think I have.
Okay, I'll make sure you get some in July. Don't worry. I have a bunch of these because this is a great IPA, like everyday IPA.
You like that better than Sparkle Puff?
Would you quit offering your juicy ass when she's not here to protect my honor?
Getting back to Rod J for it depends. So it's pretty clear. It's not super hazy or anything. This is a nice it's a nice everyday kind of like you can have a couple of these there, but 6.5 or something. Yeah, 6.5. Whereas the Sparkle Puff is 10.2, which is still a delicious beer. But I mean, at 10.2, you're only going to enjoy one or two of them and call it a night kind of thing.
Speak for yourself.
Yeah, right. Amateur.
You come on. I know you've never met me in person, but you guys see the size of me. Okay, I'm not a big guy. I can't sit and pound friggin' 5 10.2ers. That's for sure.
Well, you keep it up, you'll have a juicy ass.
There you go.
Oh, my soundboard only worked right now. There you go.
I'm sorry.
No, that was damn funny. You kidding me?
My soundboard is still not working the correct way. So,
I've not spoken to anyone but you for 3 days, so all of a sudden there's people to talk to. I'm like, hey, who's to say?
What are you trying to say? I find Chew to be a very interesting individual, and he's great to talk to. I don't know what your problem is, Mallory.
He keeps coming home from work slightly tipsy because he gets rides home from work. And I can't deal with him when he's happy and tipsy when I am miserable and sick. So I end up shouting at him until I have to go away. It's not good.
Hey, Chew, if you're watching, I apologize. It's not my fault, but I apologize. That's a Canadian in me. I apologize.
I already apologized for those things. I just, it happened twice now.
A green screening of a green screen would be a next level thing, Emerson's just saying, if Shane was to pull that off.
I've never tried that, Emerson, but I could probably pull that off. I mean, I got some pretty good I got some pretty good editing prowess in me, so
Beamish is way better, but if pushed than Guinness Cask. Had it once when I was 17. Yeah, I've never had the Beamish, but here's the thing. You only get Guinness Draft or Murphy's Dry Irish Stout. No Guinness Cask. Yeah. Don't keep trying to build it up. You only got the 2 choices on the poll. Stop trying to bring in a different edition of stuff. That's all I'm saying. You only got Murphy's Dry Irish or Guinness Draft, which is a dry Irish, which being a week the show before St. Patty's Day, I kind of dropped the ball on that because I didn't get any St. Patrick Day type beers, by the way. So as Joe would say, that's on me. That's on me. But, I got so much beer here. I can't just keep going out buying it because of seasonal holidays,
Right. I know exactly what you mean.
Yeah. I would have loved to gotten Great Lakes Conway. I would have loved to gotten Left Hands Nitro. I would love to get some other, but I'm like, you know what? I got so much beer here. I can't just keep filling it up just because,
Weekend's not here yet, Rod, so there's still time.
That's right.
Yeah, right. Well, yeah, that could happen too. So it's like,
well,
I drank one beer. Let's buy 6.
You're right.
If it makes you feel better, Rod, I'm not doing a St. Patrick's Day episode this year either. So
you're not doing one for St. Patrick's Day?
No, I'm not going to do one this year. No, I got so much stuff going on right now, like projects, and well, you guys will see tomorrow. The latest project comes out tomorrow.
Okay.
It's not really a project. It's more of an announcement of sort.
Oh,
but you guys will see that.
Like an update type thing for the channel and stuff.
No, it's for an event that's coming up.
Oh,
you guys all know what you guys all. I'll tell you. It's not a surprise. Everybody knows it's coming. Tomorrow we're going to be announcing we're starting the nominations for the Chuggy Awards tomorrow.
Oh, so, okay, nice.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and lucky you have the very, very first winner of the Chuggy Awards right here. Right very first channel to ever receive a Chuggy Award right there.
Yeah. She should open the event by shotgunning a beer as a chug.
I think so. Yeah, I think so.
I swear to God, Rod. I swear. I don't even know anymore. Why?
I mean, you got to show everybody why you won the award.
I just wish I'd had a teacher who knew what they were doing the first time I tried doing.
Oh, you can't blame the teacher. You can't blame the teacher.
Don't be fair, Mal.
I was a teacher. If a kid doesn't understand a thing, it's the teacher's fault.
Did Daniel blame Mr. Miyagi? I don't think so. He was upset. He was trying to learn karate. He was watching the fence, but then Mr. Miyagi had to break it down for him. Basically, wax on wax. He's showing him you're doing the moves. You're just getting chores done for me while you're doing them. So
That's right.
You left out part of the instructions. You failed as a teacher.
Did I, or did you not look far enough to find an answer to this to the problem?
No.
Yeah.
Wait, Mr. Miyagi.
I can't give you everything, young Jedi. I can't give you everything. Luke had to learn some things by himself.
You gotta learn on your own a little bit, you know.
That's it.
Obi-Wan held back on him a little bit. You could have told him Darth Vader was his father. He knew. He didn't tell Luke, and he knew.
Of course not.
So,
well,
Luke
on
had to
that
find
lovely note, I'm gonna have to crash, man. I can't.
yeah.
I can't do it. I woke up at 7:09 and jumped down here, and then went. I need to go back to sleep. So it's been a long few days, but I hope you guys have fun tonight.
Yeah, get some rest. Feel better for sure. I'm honored you hung in for as long as you did because I know you want to get some rest.
I will do my best to get healthy by next week. So
give you our best, and
I will.
And hopefully you had a good birthday last week too, as well. By the way,
it was fun. Lots of beers, lots of fun.
There you go.
It was good.
I mean, you had Miller Genuine Draft. What more could you ask for?
I know. I
think about Genuine Draft's funny.
It's still in the fridge.
I told you I got that tall boy. Now my store has like 12 packs of it in there.
Nice.
Like all of a sudden, Genuine Draft's like coming in hot and heavy.
You just got to mention it on your channel. That's all.
I was gonna say you must have been caught out in the wild drinking. You're like, oh, we got to get this. So Roger come out from this.
All right, you guys have a good night. Okay.
All right, you too. Feel better.
See you, Mal. Have a good night, honey.
Shout out to Dave in the house, beer in front. What is up, Dave? Cheers, brother. Great to see you as always. Timmy in the house. What is up, Tim? Cheers, my friend. Down in South Carolina. You haven't checked out Tim, check him out down there in South Carolina doing the beer thing as well. Been a long time, buddy. And you got Mark in the house. Cheers, Mark. Great to see you as well. So, Mark, so Mal was a little under the weather, so she's going to go ahead and get some rest there. So hopefully she'll feel better for the weekend because it always sucks when you're out and it's the weekend. But she's been off the last few days. Oh, yeah. Sick, she said. So, yeah. But like I said, the beer right now, if you didn't see, I'm drinking is the Great Lakes Arctic Ancient IPA, and this is one of the ones they brought out earlier. I think earlier this year or at the end of last year. But nice Imperial IPA. I don't think I've had an Imperial IPA from Great Lakes for a long time, but I used to like their Chill Wave is always pretty good, and the Lake Erie Monster is pretty good. So it's nice to see they got another one out there now too.
What's their red ale talking about?
Not for Rostu.
Don't they have an Irish?
Oh, they have the con. That's out now. The Conways. That's the one I was saying. I could have got some of that, but it's kind of like I got so much other beer here already. So
yeah.
But if you like a nice Irish red, Conways is really good from Great Lakes to check out. Got JT in the house. Cheers, JT. Great to see you, brother.
What's up, James?
But yeah, so I got beer news here too. We'll get to that at some point, I'm sure. I know Todd will probably be going out in a little bit here also. But Shane, what is going on with your channel and stuff? What do you got going on? I mean, you got the thing happening tomorrow, but any interesting beers you've been finding up there north of the border?
Nothing really up here. I got a shipment from TK earlier this week. So I got a bunch of beers from there, which included, I did shoot up that video the other day, the world's worst rated beer, according to Beer
I didn't watch it yet, but I saw you post that out there. Yeah.
It was pretty bad. It was, I think I've had a beer worse than that before, but That it was pretty
Yeah.
bad.
It was the Bud Select you did.
Yeah, the Select 55. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I could have gave you a heads up, but some of you got to learn yourself. Like, just like with Mal.
Well,
Can't tell you everything.
well, it's funny because I'd seen TK and Anderson do the review of it, and they said they had a whole bunch of them. Because I don't know if you picked up like a 12-pack or a case or something like that, and I knew TK was going to send me up some beers, so I messaged him. I'm like, I hope one of those is in there because I want to try it if it's that bad. Just to see, just to see if it's really that bad. And it was. It
Just
was.
wanted to validate it. Yeah.
Yeah. That's all. That's all I wanted to do.
Yeah. Yeah, I haven't had that since I think when it first came out. I tried it back then, and it was like drinking liquid cardboard. So,
Well, which one was it?
The Select 55, the
Oh,
low cal one from Bud. Yeah.
Yeah, it's not good, and it's only like 2.4% or something like that, or 2.6.
yeah, the last resort.
Yeah,
you want
was
to take it?
not good.
So it's like 55 or kicking the nuts. I'll take the kicking the nuts, please.
Yeah.
It's a toss up, that's for sure.
Right, there's your next poll for next week. Kicking the nuts.
Yeah, there you go. Select 55. There you go.
It's like 55.
Yeah. Kicking the nuts or Zima. Which one would you take? Yeah.
Zima. That was that. That's like a cooler, right? That was years ago. That came out. Frick.
Oh yeah, and they brought it back a second time, like
I was gonna say
earlier
back out again.
to try it again and fail. The only country that seems to like this is Japan for some reason, but they tried to bring it back out in our market again, and it didn't go well.
Well, when people here have to put like a Jolly Rancher in it to drink it, it ain't. It's not good.
Yeah, anytime you got to add,
You mix up flavors and everything. It's like okay, I'm not sure I can still stop.
I do think I've tried one, but it was a long time ago. I remember it being just kind of like a wine cooler, fruity, whatever. It was whatever.
Like a malt beverage, I believe.
Yeah, it was a malt beverage.
Yeah, I think you're right. Yeah,
it's like, hey kids, things are crazy in the early '90s. We got Zima and we got Bud Light Platinum. Ooh, we are tearing it up tonight in the town.
I don't know why this just came. Did you guys remember it? I don't know if you guys had it down there. There was a soft drink down back in the '90s. It was called Orbits. It was like
I don't think so.
maybe it's not. I think it was made by Clearly Canadian. So it basically was like a clear, soft drink soda for you guys.
Like
because we had Pepsi Clear, so it was like that. I guess.
It was kind of like that. It was like a carbonated soft drink, but it had like these little, I don't know what you want to call them. Almost like a tapioca, but that's not what they were. They were like little balls that kind of floated.
Oh, okay.
It was like the same. It was like the same gravity as the soda, so it would just kind of float in there. So when you were drinking it, you get these little globs of like gel. It was actually they were actually pretty good. I didn't.
Were
mind
they
them.
flavored? Were the little beads?
Yes,
flavored?
yes, the little beads were flavored too. Yeah.
Okay. I was gonna say that'd be kind of weird if it wasn't. Just be like, what is this?
Yeah, they definitely they had flavor. So they'd have like each flavor. Like if you got like a blue raspberry, say, like I said, the liquid was clear, but you'd have like a dark blue, all these dark little blue beads floating through it.
I take it.
Interesting.
No longer, right?
Yeah, you know what? They were a little pricey too. Like let's say a bottle of soda was $1. Orbits would have been like $1.70 kind of thing. Like there was quite a big price hike, but it was super cool and they did taste good. So
the novelty of it, they were like, "Oh, we'll sell them for an extra 70 cents just for the beads alone."
Yeah.
But
I think a lot of people got turned off because of the little beads. Like when you're drinking, you get that little, like it was just very very soft gel little ball thing, right? So a lot of people kind of like, oh God, it's so gross getting this. It's like you're chewing it while you're drinking it.
There are so many jokes in there right now.
Oh, I know. There's tons. There's tons.
I'm not saying it's not 10 o'clock yet. It can't go there.
Wives are looking at their husbands like, oh, that's a problem now.
Oh, and speaking of which, to all the guys out there, today is March 14th. I hope you celebrated properly. That's all I'm saying. I did not. But I hope everybody else celebrated properly as well.
Now you got me thinking. I know it's the Pi Day, and that's like a day for Vanessa. Because I know Vanessa did the whole math thing with it being Pi Day.
Oh, okay. Without telling you what it is, so
just looked at
February 14th is Valentine's Day.
Oh,
so March.
I know
you know what it is, Todd, right? Yeah, you know what it is. All right.
Yes.
All right.
I'm in
You know what it is there, Rod?
I'm
Okay.
in the dark over here.
Okay, so I don't know if you've heard about this before. I'm assuming you haven't, but because you haven't figured it out. So February 14th is Valentine's Day. It's all about our women. We shower them with gifts and flowers and dinners and chocolates. Well, a month later, which is today, March 14th, is the day for the guys. Today is steak
the steak,
and
the
BJ
steak, the
Day.
beer, and the BJ. Okay, now I know what it is. Yeah, yeah.
Steak and BJ Day.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah, and beer. I thought beer was part of it too.
Beer can be part of everything.
Never
Doesn't
thought about it, but I was about to fix steak today too. But you know,
As it started coming back to me, there I was like, "Oh, I
messed
think I
that
know where
one
you're
up.
going with it." There, yeah.
Yeah, there we go. That's steak and BJ Day.
Oh, Dave, I'm not going to fight you on that. He said, when it comes back in, I'm doing dibs on the review. I'm not going to fight you on that one. Although, if it does come back, I'm supposed to chug one with Erie because big Zima fan there. So I'm like,
Oh, yeah,
hopefully
that's
hopefully that never happens because
Yeah,
nobody
you'd be
wants to see
screwed
me.
if that. Yeah,
Yeah.
that'd be
2%
interesting.
ABV. Was Select 55 only 2%? No, it was bigger than 2%, wasn't it? Select
Yeah.
55.
Actually, I got the can here. Give me a second. I'll look.
I think
Was it grout?
Like,
I don't think anything in America is 2% ABV.
I thought Shane was saying like 2% or something.
Maybe it was.
I feel like it was like 4. No, maybe not.
No, I lied. I crushed it up.
Reboot.
You know, regular Bub is only 5. So
Actually. Yeah, that's true.
maybe like 2.5 or something.
Select
Let's see.
2.4% ABV. I didn't realize it was that
2.4,
low.
Yeah, I knew it was pretty
Average-
low.
Average on tap rating 1.87. That's one of the lower scores I've seen.
Wow, on
Not-
average.
But it's
Yeah.
over
Well,
1 and it's almost at 2. So
I think
my
on
friends that
beer,
rated it. My friends have it at a 1.92 average.
I think on Beer Advocate it's like 1.65.
Yeah.
It's it's not good.
We need Rusty to comment on this one because I know he's probably drank a shit ton of those before.
On purpose?
On purpose? Yeah, I was gonna say the same thing. On purpose? Who does that?
Probably yes.
Pipeworks alt beer. That sounds safe. I mean, everything I hear about Pipeworks is so good. So,
I've had a few of their stuff. They're really
hey,
good.
what's up? What's up, Liz? Hope y'all doing well. Heading to San Diego. There's a promise of brewery tour. Anyone familiar with San Diego's best beers and venues? Ooh, very nice. Well, you're not going to run any trouble down there in San Diego for Southern Cal, but I don't know what the top ones really are down there now because it used to be like wasn't Ballast down there before they got taken out, and
I had family who lived in San Diego, and I've been there when I was a kid, so I was much too young to even comment on that one. So
yeah. But the Southern California scene, I know they got a lot of beers on there.
oh yeah,
Obviously, Orbis was available in Chicago. They were great, Liz said.
Yeah, see, you know what I'm talking about, Liz. Thank you. And hey, great to see you, by the way. Cheers.
Vanessa's back from a phone call there. Don't you know the show's on right now, Vanessa? Who's calling you right now?
Right? What the hell?
Society's real good. Dave said have a few locations. North Park is great as well, but they always seem to be packed. Yeah, because Dave actually goes to San Diego. So,
Well, if the place is always packed, that's a good sign, though, right? That probably
Yeah.
means they got some good beers, good atmosphere, good food.
oh
whatever.
yeah,
that's true.
Because I don't know about you guys, but if I walk into a brewery and there's only like, especially like, say like 5, 6 o'clock in the evening, and there's only like 1 or 2 people there, that kind of makes me nervous. Because it's like, why isn't there more people in here?
you're gonna Chew watches this at his thing, and sometimes it's like that, like only one person in there. You're gonna make him feel nervous. And I'm like, why are you here? Like,
Yeah, you got nothing else to do. What? Well, yeah, why are you stopping there for?
Yeah, exactly, right?
I mean, I know. I'm totally behind you on that one for sure. But there's several breweries around here where you go in, and it's like I said, it depends on the time of day and what day of the week. And
Sure. Yeah.
it varies.
Yeah,
know.
like if you go in at 2 o'clock in the afternoon on a Wednesday, I don't expect people to be there.
You're right.
But if I'm like 5, 6 o'clock in the evening on like a Thursday, I expect some people to be there.
Yeah,
you know.
That's
it's kind of cool though. If you go to the brewery thing from a YouTube perspective, like I went to the one brewery in Northern Ohio. I can't remember the name right now, but it was like a Wednesday or whatever, like 2:00, 1:00, 2:00. Or I had no data myself because she was at like a conference and I was just on a trip along the way to drink beer, basically. And when I started shooting video, and then had the head brewer sit down with me for 3 hours to do a live stream because there was like nothing else really happening. So we ended up doing this great thing there. So sometimes it's great when there is somebody there too, which is weird.
For that,
yeah.
Roger,
for sure. From that perspective,
I miss Braxton Labs.
Braxton Labs was the bomb. Yeah, that was good. Yeah, you would walk into Braxton Labs sometimes; they'd be kind of limited, but you knew the beers were good there. So sometimes it's just a timing thing. But
that closed that down, right? That's not.
Yeah, they just. I think last I heard they're doing it just for making beer now. It's not like an actual sit down like it is at Party Source. But that was a great spot. Yeah, I missed the Dark Charge beers; those are pretty good.
I'll never forget that day when we were all up there. Me and Joe and Eric and Joe's dad was like, shut up. We're getting our J deals. Don't interfere.
Yeah, really we're used to that. Eric's trying to run math in his head, and it's like it's taking care of. She knows what she's doing. Just pay her.
Yeah. Just give her money and shut up. And
yeah.
Let's go.
It's like this is the day of my life, Then that was a fun day. I mean, they could have put us on payroll that day. We had all people drinking all kinds of stuff there.
Oh yeah, we did.
We should have been ambassadors for some of those distributions.
Like,
you're having a great time, Shane, when you actually start taking people away from other parties. Like, we had guys join us from another party, and then like they came like we were looking all over for you. Like, oh, I'm just hanging out with these guys instead. Like, he dropped his other party to hang out with us.
No, that's awesome. Oh, he did. That's right. I forgot about that. But it's also nice when you have the same Uber driver comes to pick you up every time you get one because she was like, I like you guys, and she was like, all right, I'm taking that one. She'd come back every 2 times to pick us up.
That is great.
That was fun. That was a good weekend.
Let's see here. Chad said, "What's a Murphy Dry Irish?" So Murphy's Dry Irish is a dry Irish stout. The Guinness Draft is a dry Irish stout. So it's just a draft version. So those are the two same style of beer. So the poll is saying, which one are you going to go with if you have to choose one of those two?
I feel like Murphy's, I don't want to say heavier, but it's not. I don't feel it's as thin as the Guinness. Or am I wrong?
Right.
No, I don't think it is. I think it's a little bit better than what the Guinness is on the body.
Like it's a little more body for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's why I picked the Murphys.
Yeah, same here. Yeah. I'm on that one. I did the same.
I said I wasn't going to buy probably more beer right now, but then I'm like, you know what? If I do go Saturday morning, I could get a Murphy's and I could get a Guinness and do a head-to-head.
Oh, there you go.
Live stream.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
That could work.
That'd work.
Because now we're talking about, I'm like, I want to go out and get a Murphy's because it's been a while. I haven't had one for a while. Go get one.
I'm going to think and start doing some other challenge with some of the. It's funny, for some reason, I keep getting things popping up where people watching my Coors video. Like Coors has been pretty popular. It's like I need to do some more Coors showdowns. I haven't done any Coors showdowns against some of the other beers, so those are always kind of fun having the macro showdowns.
I'll say most of the macros usually high level as far as viewership. They usually some of the top.
Usually you'll draw people in with it, but I get more on Coors than any of the other macros. More than the Bud, more than the Miller. Like people just. The Coors Golden Stubby I did. People really like to see
It's interesting.
See that one. So
yeah, I find you always get more views on your macros than you do your craft beers because just more people search for it. That's what they're looking for, right?
Yeah.
I think so.
I mean, the biggest beer review I got is actually the new Ranger original Voodoo Ranger. Because I got the most views on the channel for a beer review.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
Nice. I feel like
that's a popular solid beer though. So yeah.
Well, in your macros, everybody knows what those are. If you drink beer, you've had those, so they know. And it's accessible for everybody. I feel like that would be automatically watchable. Not necessarily anybody's searching for those. Like, why do you need to watch a video on Miller Lite or Coors Light or whatever? But I get it.
Yeah.
I get it.
Yeah.
Speaking of macros, I do have a macro one coming up from north of the border. So out of the Great North. So
do you really? Oh, yeah, I'm excited.
Yeah,
I'm excited.
It might be one that surprises you too, because I know what the common one actually is, but it's not that one, which I've done that one before.
Well, teaser.
Like, what would you think the common one is?
A common macro up here?
Like that we would get here that we would do out of Canada, probably.
I would, if I was going by macros, I'd say like a Canadian or a Labatt Blue.
Right, Labatt Blue.
know,
So I've done that one before, but it's not that one, but it's another one that's
Molson.
I think you'll see it. So I've done Molson, but
Oh, you know what? I think I know which one it is.
I've done Molson Triple X before. I don't know if I've actually done regular Molson.
I think I know which one. Is that one that somebody else did a review of, not like just recently?
Not that I'm aware of.
Okay.
But it's one.
Okay, maybe it's not
one
that
I
I'm thinking.
saw in the corner store. I'm like, that's weird that we have that one here. I don't think I've seen that one before. So I went ahead and grabbed it, and it was like 24 ounce, 25 ounce can, whatever that big can is, and it was like $2.59 or whatever. So it's not going to be highly impeccable beer, right?
Yeah,
but it's like,
exactly.
You know what? Let's give it a shot. So,
well, I got an idea of one or two beers it could be, but I don't want to ruin the surprise for anybody else. So I won't name them.
Can't ruin it either.
You might be like, how did he get that down there? It's weird distribution. Yeah.
Speaking of distribution, you know what they need to do? Yingling needs to start distributing up here, because I'm getting sick of having to run across the border every time I want a Yingling and friggin' picking up a case over there for $20. You friggin' guys, it kills me. It kills me to go over to Niagara Falls, New York, and buy a case of beer for $20. And it's like, Are you serious right now? Like, are you serious? $20, which is like, say, $30 Canadian ish.
Yeah.
Right. Like, I can't get a case of beer up here for $30. I can get like a 8-pack for $30. Well, that's about it.
Yeah, and plus I think they just raised some of the taxes in part of Canada too, so it's kind of crazy. Or they slashed part of tax. They did something with taxes up there.
Yeah, there was something. I read something about it a little while ago. I think they were supposed to implement that like April 1st, but they just raised our beer taxes not too long ago, and I think there's like there's a big fight up here about, Jesus Christ, like, we can't even afford to have alcohol anymore, for God's sakes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I do have a Canadian beer news story.
Perfect.
But what were you going to say, Todd?
No, I was going to say, just let's have one thing. Quit taxing the hell out of it. I just want this one.
Yeah.
Like, just let us have this one thing.
It's like, stop messing with the beer.
We'll drink enough and then go buy other stuff that you can tax us on.
Or just alcohol in general, not necessarily beer, because because I drink like hard liquors and stuff too. You guys have seen my bar, and I think I talked about this maybe a couple of weeks ago. Like, I can run down the street to like one of the wineries here in Niagara, because we have a ton of wineries, and pick up a bottle from where they make it. And let's say I pick up a bottle for $18 or whatever the hell the bottle is. I can go over the border, like a 20-minute drive to Niagara Falls, New York, and pick up that same bottle for like $7.
Oh, wow.
I'm like, I'm buying it at the place you make it, and it's cheaper if I go into a different country to get it.
I mean, you had to said Mallet Miller. You had to said Mallet genuine draft here in the States, so
Right.
Oh yeah. Well, like I said, she couldn't find one, so I'm like, hey, here's some. Actually, I sent her down two. One for Chew as well, of course. I'm not a complete asshole.
Oh, Aubrey said I was exaggerated by 4/10. So you know what, Aubrey? To some, this makes a difference. To some, it makes a difference.
I don't know who that would be, but yeah.
Oh, Chad's having a Negroni cocktail. Oh, nice.
Nice.
I've actually had a beer that was Negroni flavored before. Like some of these new cocktail type IPAs stuff they're doing. Like one of them was a Negroni I have.
That's actually something I haven't had in a long time.
Well, you like the cocktail, so I don't know if you've ever had one before, Todd, as well, but I just did that one from Lagunitas with the tiki, and it was like that was based off the zombie cocktail that you would get. It was actually pretty flavorful, like an old zombie type drink. So
no, I don't. Off the top of my head, I don't remember having one.
Yeah, the only thing I don't like about the Negronis is the Campari. There's something about the Campari that just. I'll drink it. Don't get me wrong. I'll drink pretty much anything. It's got alcohol in it.
All right, I got a few minutes, and then I'm gonna hop off because it's about ready to start.
Yeah, he's gonna ask. He has the Indiana game coming on.
You can't watch it and stay on the live stream at the same time. What the hell?
Yeah,
this is do or die. It's like you gotta have tradition.
It doesn't usually work out too good.
It's do or die, traditional ritual. You got the Calgary hat on. You got to be in your spot. You got to have the right stuff around you. You got to be pumped up.
Well,
But if you're
Well, I gotta have my.
game's over, I'll be back. So you know.
There you go. So I have to wear my hat because I did a couple reviews recently. Like when I come home from work at like 6:30 in the morning, right? And I
Mhm.
have my uniform on. And I don't have my hat because I don't wear my hat at work. But I wasn't wearing my hat during them, and people were like commenting that they were freaked out. They're like, "Would you put your goddamn hat back on?"
Yeah, who's this? Who? Yeah,
You know,
recognize
because when you wear a Calgary flag, not necessarily this one, but I have several that I wear.
yeah.
And when you do that for almost 4 years, and then suddenly you stop wearing your hat, people are like, "Oh, who the hell is this guy?"
It becomes a
I
part of you.
mean,
Yeah,
It's like
it's a part of the channel, I guess, right?
if Don King got a haircut, would you recognize him? I don't know if you would. I don't know if you would.
True. That shit's like, who's that?
Yeah, I guess, eh?
10
I
foot
guess.
tall.
Actually, I'm going to run to the bathroom real quick. That way, you're not here by yourself, Shane, when Todd jumps off. But
That's all good. Yeah, go. Go. Me and Todd will chatter up here for a minute.
And I gotta get a beer anyway.
Yeah, all good. And then I can go grab another one because this one's just about gone.
Yeah, mine's better.
Have you ever had anything from Flying Monkeys, Todd? Up here in Canada?
No, I don't think so. I don't.
No?
Yeah, not that I can think of.
I should ship you down some. Christ,
I was
make
saying,
a good beer.
I was thinking that earlier when I was talking about that. I was like, I should get some stuff together and send to you or something, and vice versa or whatever. Because I just
Yeah, for sure.
Out to get stuff that I can't get here.
Yeah, for sure. Well, like I said, just you can get a hold of me on like Instagram, which I don't check all the time. So, but occasionally I will, or Facebook, or just whatever.
Right. Yeah. Okay.
Or you can just email me, shanescraftbeerreview@gmail.com.
Okay. Yeah.
And then and then we'll swap addresses and I'll figure something out.
When we used to change, Rod and I used to, trade beers all the time. When he lived in Cincinnati, I'm like, he sends me the same stuff I can get here. Now he's in Baltimore, and it's like, okay, now we need to do a beer trade because I'm sure I get stuff that he used to get but can't get no longer, and there's a lot of stuff that I can't get that he can get.
Sure.
Now. So
yeah.
We've
I gotta
talked
tell you.
about it, we just haven't done it lately.
Yeah.
At least since it's been out there anyway, so.
Right. Yeah. So just get a hold of me. I'll send you down some nice Flying Monkeys beers. I'll send you down like a whack of them, just from Flying Monkeys, so you can see what their range of beers are like, right? Because you probably know.
Would you have to come into the States, like in Buffalo, or not Buffalo, but Niagara, whatever area, and ship stuff, or is
that's usually what I do. I just pop over to the States because it's cheaper, right? So I just pop over there, so not a big deal.
So then, like, as far as shipping something to you, same thing. Do you come over here to pick it up, or send it up?
Well, actually, I do have it's funny because I have a mailbox in the States, but I haven't used it for a couple of years. And with the beer reviewer get together coming up, I know a lot of guys are going to want to ship beer up here so they don't have to carry it on the plane with them.
Yeah.
So I need to call them and just make sure that the mailbox is still active. Yeah. Right. I'm like, hey, is it still active? And if it's not, I'll get it redone so guys can ship it there, because it's easier to go there, pay the $8 or whatever it is to pick up the package, than pay the duty on everything that's coming over, plus the shipping and all that garbage.
Now, when you go back across the border, do they check? Are you allowed just so much to carry back across with you, or how does that work?
Yeah, it's usually like usually they let you bring back like a case or a bottle. But like if there's two guys in the thing and I say, oh, I've got 2 cases of beer and really I've got 3 or 4, they usually don't even check.
No big deal.
It's like, hey, here's my receipt. Like because I always have my receipt ready, I have everything ready, my passport, everything when I get to the thing. And as I pull up to the thing, because I've done this so many times, I take my hat off because you're not allowed to wear a hat.
Oh yeah.
And so they can see that, yeah, I'm ready. I've done this before. And most of the time they don't even question me. They're like, oh, what did you got? I'm like, oh, I got 2 cases of beer.
They're just like, all right, go ahead, move along.
I got 2 cases of beer. I've been over here for 7 hours. I went for dinner and did some shopping. Okay, have a nice day.
Yeah.
For the most part, they don't. I've never had a problem.
No big deal. That's cool.
Yeah.
All right, well, it's tip off. So I'm gonna run.
All right, man.
I'll take back.
Todd's going to be back in 2.5 hours going, wow, why did I even leave you guys? Because that was a complete waste of time.
You're probably right. That's probably who's better I know him, so it's like
if it gets ugly early.
Well, that's true. I might be back on here in about 20 minutes. You never know.
20 minutes? Come on. You got to give them time.
Well, I mean, half is 20 minutes clock
sometimes
off. It's really like 45.
sometimes you just know. Sometimes you just know.
Right.
Yeah.
I know it's 2-0 right off the bat, so we're stepping out in a good, out front early. So
Fair enough.
All right.
Well, hey, hopefully they get the win, Todd, and that always makes for a better night.
we'll see.
Well,
Yeah,
they
'cause
need-
they'll
they-
play again
they-
tomorrow, so that could be
they-
something to watch tomorrow night if we do. So
Well, they need it for March Madness. So
that's right. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got to win
For sure.
win the Big Ten tournament to get in. So other than that, we're pretty much terrible. All
terrible.
right, well, I'll check back in when I can.
All right, brother.
All right. Cheers, Todd.
See you, Rod.
Take care, man.
So I'm going to actually crack open one from RAR Brewing. It is their 10-layer coconut dessert stout. So
Interesting.
this one is a sessionable stout for me. Comes in at 8% ABV.
8. I was expecting like 10 or 11 when you said sessionable.
I don't know what it is. Everybody says different. Now I'm like, is that really that much? Because I feel like I drink those all the time and I'm okay. So, if I had a couple double IPAs, I'd be under the bed. I'm like, really? Just 2? That's all it takes.
Sometimes. So it depends on what it is, I guess.
Well, depending on what it is, yeah. They give it the old Shane Harport there. Look at that.
There we go. Do
It's
it
not
up.
ahead. Not gonna say it. Not gonna say it.
March 14th, baby.
You get a nice chocolate roastiness on this one. Now, should be pretty interesting.
Nice.
Not getting as much of the coconut on the nose as of yet. Getting a little cocoa coming out. So let it settle for a bit before I get in it. Let's see here. Chad said some bagels with cream cheese and smoked salmon. Good. Oh, very nice. There you go.
That sounds good, Chad. Yeah, for sure.
Like Ricky Martin, living la vida loca. There you go. Place to start. There you go. Dave, not just Chicago. He knows San Diego too.
There you go.
Check out a restaurant in La Jolla. Come here, La Jolla, called the Promiscuous Fork. There you go. See, Patrick coming through there.
I don't know. With a name like that, I'd be kind of leery. Promiscuous Fork. Like, geez,
if it was a spoon, I'd be a little more worried. But a fork,
well, I guess. Yeah, that's a valid point. That's a valid point.
Oh, listen, thanks there. That's party poaching. What's Jungle Gym's been like for beers nowadays? Well, you know what? I actually, because I've been in Baltimore the last 2 years, I have not been to Jungle Gym since moving here. I don't think Todd has been back up there as well. Patrick, I don't know if you've been up to Cincinnati for Jungle Gym because he's down there as well where Todd is. But for those that don't know Jungle Gyms, I may have to go back and share a video on one of the shows. Jungle Gyms is like an adult playground for beer lovers. I mean, it's just so much beer on hand, and then you got taps, like 18, 20 taps, right? Like some people they go to Jungle Gym, it's not even a shop, just to drink beer because their tap selections are always so good. So it's that little section there, and I was right across from this little place where you get like gyros and different type of sandwiches, and you just like who would think to hang out in the store to drink, but people do it. So, and then they have like big beer festivals where they bring in like some of the international type stuff too. So Jungle Gyms is awesome.
Nice.
I think all the former Bud Lighters went to Coors, maybe, but some may have come back. I mean, it was.
In all fairness, Coors tastes better, I think.
I think so too. I do.
I mean, even before the whole Bud Light crap went down, I think I had like 1 or 2 Bud Lights, and it was only because that was the only thing available, and it was just like, to me, there's no flavor to it. It's not worth the money. Like I had a guy come into my work last night. And everybody knows I work in a casino and everything's expensive in a damn casino. So this guy ordered 2 Mick Ultras, $18 Canadian.
Oh, wow.
And I'm like, $9 a piece. I'm like, dude, I said, you realize you can get water for free and it's the same thing. And he's like, oh, he goes, I'm trying to watch my weight. Blah, blah, blah. And he wasn't a big guy or anything.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, man. They said, if you want to pay $18 for 2 bottles of water, you go right ahead.
So in Canada, it's not like here in the States in a lot of places, and I say a lot of places like Atlantic City, Las Vegas, I think maybe even in Reno, like a lot of casinos, if you're gambling, drinks are free.
Yes, in Canada we have this weird law where we're not allowed to serve you, or we're not allowed to give away alcohol for free.
Hmm.
And if you have too much to drink, we will kick you out.
Really? Okay. Well, I mean,
Yes,
I can
sir.
see if you get too much. I mean, that's probably we have something like that here too. If you get too obnoxious and crazy, but
Yeah. But I mean,
but
that's also kind of based on how much money you have. I
yeah,
mean, the casino is a business. They're in the business to make money. And if
yeah.
you have, tons of money and you're just, playing and losing lots of money, yeah, you can stay. Don't worry, we'll let you stay.
It's
Or
like
if you're
Motel
if
Six.
you're
Motel 6 will leave a light on for you.
yeah, yeah, exactly. And if it's like it gets to the point where the guy's up, let's say the guy's up like 100,000 or something like that, and he's totally drunk and he should be leaving, like we should kick him out. They're like, no, we're gonna let him sit for another half hour.
Yeah.
So they can
He'll
get some of
slow
that 100,000 back, right? Or whatever the hell it happens to be, whatever the amount is. I know I throw out these big numbers all the time, and everybody goes, "People lose $100,000." Yeah, they do. It happens like all the time. I'm
Yeah.
kind of immune. I've become immune to the money aspect of it now because some guys will come in, and I've seen guys lose two, three, four, $500,000 in
Yeah.
8 hours, and people are
Yeah.
like, "Holy crap!" And I'm like, "But that does." When I first started dealing, like 30 years ago, that used to bother me. It was like, how do you lose $5,000? Like to me, that's a lot of money. $5,000 is a lot of money.
Yeah.
But over time, I've realized that the money isn't the issue for me anymore because you can make money tomorrow. Go to work. Maybe you got to work for the next 6 months and get your money back doing actual work. But to me, it's the time because
Hmm.
sometimes these people sit in the casino for 3-4 days straight. Like
Yeah.
they have like a 2 hour nap and then they're back at it. I'm like, how sad is your life? Like that you are just wasting time when you could be, hanging out with like we're doing right now. Yeah, you know what? Me and
Yeah.
Rod are sitting here having a couple of beers together, having a great time, enjoying each other's company. No, you're sitting there just fucking blowing, tens or hundreds
Yeah.
of thousands of dollars for nothing because you can't get that time back. The money you can get back, you can always get money back. Pick up a second job, whatever you need to do. But the
Yeah.
time you can never ever get back, and that's what bothers me now is the
I,
time.
I feel like that's like the Keno people. When I see the Keno people, it's just sitting around, like you're just sitting there with a ticket in your hand, like there's nothing else for you to really
Yeah,
do besides just sit here. But somehow they get some satisfaction out of sitting there, I guess. So
it's well, it's kind of sad, and like I understand that I don't understand everybody's personal situation. Like you said, you get the guys that sit there with the Keno tickets, and they sit there, by themselves for hours, buying Keno tickets. Maybe they don't have any family that's around. You don't really you never know the story,
yeah,
but even still, it's like you can find something better to do.
yeah.
Like if it's an older person, like you can join like a euchre club, and
Mm,
every Thursday night you play euchre with a bunch of 70, 80-year-old people. Interact with
yeah.
people your own age. You don't have to sit here and just freaking waste your time in a
I did
freaking
not know that.
casino.
I did not know they played
Yeah.
euchre in Canada. That's good to know.
Of course.
I never learned euchre until I moved to Cincinnati because we didn't play euchre on the East Coast. We played mainly spades or gin rummy, but they play euchre
Oh,
in the
spades is
Midwest.
nice. Yeah,
Yeah,
spades is good
yeah.
too. Hearts, I spades, hearts. Like
I've seen people get threatened over spades. Depends where you're playing spades at. Spades can get real serious real quick, especially if you got
it can.
partners.
Yep, yep, for sure. Absolutely, it can. Um, it's
I've
it's
been at
it's
spades
funny because
games where it's like, oh, somebody's about to get cut.
yeah, and it's funny. I used to play a lot of cards. I don't really play cards very much anymore
Hmm.
because it's too reminiscent of my job. Like
Sure.
if you
Yeah, I can
were
see
like
that.
if you
Yeah.
worked as a dishwasher and you worked at a restaurant for 8 hours washing dishes, and then you have to come home. Let's say you've got a pretty big family, like 4 or 5 people or 6 people, and you got to come home and nobody's done the dishes, and you have to do the dishes again. You're
Yeah,
like,
you
God, I
don't
don't want
like
to. I don't
that.
want to do this anymore. Like I just did
Yeah.
this, and that's kind of like me with cards. Like I'll play occasionally, but not like I used
Yeah.
to. But I mean, I used to enjoy. Like I said, I played hearts, I played spades, I played poker, I played cribbage. Cribbage was a big game for me back when I was younger.
Yeah.
I love playing crib. Um, and nowadays it's just like, can we do something else? Like,
Yeah. Well, I mean, like for me, like I work in the financial area, but it's like when I come home, the last thing I want to talk about is finances or invest
Sure,
in or things
exactly.
like that and everything, because it's like I talk about that all day long. I don't even want to answer the phone because I'm on the phone all day long. It's like everybody goes to voicemail on my thing.
Yeah, yeah,
You have a better
exactly.
chance of texting me and having me respond than leaving me a voicemail.
Right. Like I
I
said, and
can actually see it.
I always feel bad for guys that have jobs like say a mechanic, for example,
Mhm.
because he spends all day fixing cars. He puts in his 8, 10 hours, whatever the hell he's working, and he goes home and you've always got a buddy like, hey man, can you take a look at my car? This is wrong. And it's like all your buddies are asking you for stuff, and you're like, Jesus Christ, like, can I have a day off? Like, can I please have a day off?
Well,
Like I said,
here
I feel sorry for guys like that.
in the States, it becomes a side hustle for some of those guys. Like, I can fix it. Yeah, we'll call about 200 or whatever. Like, they'll cut you a
Yeah.
deal and fix it for you, which is
Yeah, for
fine.
sure.
I mean,
Yeah.
yeah.
But then you got to find a guy that's, I don't want to say maybe passionate, but that enjoys doing that kind of like problem solving, like, and guys that enjoy that.
Yeah.
Because some mechanics are just like, I want to put in my 8 hours and go home, and I don't want to fix your damn piece of junk car. Like, go away. I'm busy.
Chad, you are correct. The Murphy Stout in the can with the widget, because they have the widget just like Guinness does. So yes, sir.
Yep.
My package from Singapore made it here, but the post office wanted a signature first. They should have actually dropped it. He's actually dropping off tomorrow. Oh, you guys up from Singapore? Nice.
That'd be great.
Molson Golden Ale, early 80s. Yeah.
Molson Golden. Yes, sir.
I can remember being I wasn't drinking yet in the early 80s, but in the mid to late 80s when I was drinking, like going to some of the parties we would have, like in high school and college, you walk in with a Molson, because that was Canadian and that was import. And that was big deal back in the day. Like,
sure. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. All right. I'm going to run and grab a quick beer here. I'll be right back. I'm just going to grab a beer.
Right. People be like, who brought the Molson? All right. Yeah. So I'm filling up a Bison utility bag tomorrow if the new tools arrive. Oh, nice. Is was a bison skin like utility type thing? Like you use an actual bison fur or anything? Or is Bison the name of the company? Alaska 1983, the dairy plant resides next to the fence on the base. They cannot get the milk made to delivery with at least 10 days of shelf life remaining. Oh, wow. They had trouble getting it through to where it needed to go, huh? A wild Carnation Dairy in Oregon and Washington State flew in the dairy with full 14 days remaining. They flew it in the same day they made it. There you go. Don King gets a new haircut. Don Jester. Yeah, Don King got a haircut. He wouldn't be Don King to you anymore, right? You'd be like, who is that guy? That ain't Don King.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
Like I said, I think he'd be unrecognizable with a haircut. That's for sure.
Big Daddy in the house. What is going on, my friends? Sipping an Energy City Bistro banana split. Yum. 6.5. Very nice.
Banana split. Oh, that sounds. Is there some chocolate in there too? I'm assuming. If the banana split would have some chocolate, pineapple, cherry.
Well,
that sounds interesting.
Yeah, I mean it's a stout, so it's probably got those flavors running through it. I would think. I think it's a stout.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure it is. I think he might have had one last week too, but he has sent us some Energy City before and out of Chicago, and that's some tasty stuff they're doing.
Nice.
I don't know if they talked about that I don't know when you were down there if you got a chance to hear about them or talk about them with Mal and Chew and all of them, but that's one of the other breweries they have.
That Energy City? Yeah, I don't think we definitely didn't go there. I don't think we talked about it because I don't think I've I mean, I'm getting old. I lose my memory in my old age, so you can relate, Rod. You can relate.
those beverage commercials start to look more relative, right, when they come on.
Yes, absolutely, absolutely. That's right.
Yeah, I miss Todd. Todd's been going like 20 minutes.
What are you trying to say, Emerson? What are you trying to say? What are you trying to say? I'm not a good co-host. Is that what you're saying? No, I'm just kidding.
Hey, what is up, Sam? Cheers.
Sammy's in the house. What's going on, Sam?
I found a dough sheeter would help me to make the phyllo doughs, etc. That was coming from Singapore? Oh, Aubrey said, what up to Sammy? Howdy, y'all. I've had quite a few from RA. Yeah, see, that's the thing. Like, so he's in Australia. The beer that I'm drinking from RAR, like you say, can I get that? No, you can't get that. But Sam's in Australia and he's getting it from this brewery.
Right.
So Sam, this is the one I'm drinking. It's a 10-layer coconut. And I will tell you now that it's warmed up a little bit, very smooth, very dessert appeal, not overly sweet. Still trying to find a little bit more of that coconut feel to it. It's there, but it's a little lighter than I thought it was going to be, which is fine. I'm not a huge coconut fan. So it's got enough to be a touch of it. I think if you came in loving coconut, you might be like, you will want more. But it's got a little bit of a
Right.
fudgy type body to it to make it that dessert type feel. Yeah, these
Right.
are, you find a stout like this, a sweet dessert stout, when you can find them and they're not too sweet, you're like, okay, I can drink a couple of these, right? Because if you get them, they're too
Sure.
sweet, you're like, you don't even want to finish one can sometimes. This is one
Yeah.
of those ones you could drink a couple and just be like, just chill with it. I could even smoke a cigar with this one and still be okay. So
Oh,
I'm
nice.
digging it.
There you go.
Yeah, RAR does some good stuff. So I've noticed that since being here in Maryland too.
Nice.
Usually home smoking up foods and trying to make stuff. You always are. That's what we love about
All
you.
the time.
You always want to stuff.
All
Yeah.
the time.
What's up, Eric? Thomas Meadow in the house. Cheers,
Thomas,
my
how are
friend.
you?
Happy Thursday to you. I had to think that for a second. It is Thursday, right? Yeah, it's
It
Thursday.
is Thursday, sir. And I don't know if you noticed. Sammy come out with a video just a couple days ago, and he had two legendary beers that he did on one of his live streams. He did the Heady Topper and the Focal Banger from
That's just
Alchemist
showing
Brewery.
that's just showing off on his part at that point.
That's
Just showing
great.
off.
Like I said, I was excited when I saw that he did that, and unfortunately I
Yeah.
missed his actual live. I had to go back and watch it later. Because most people know I did a drive down to Vermont. Sorry, it's a drive
Yeah.
up to Vermont because Vermont's north of me. That freaks people out. I got to try the Heady Topper. It is. Vermont is
Yeah.
north of me.
Yeah.
But I got to try the Heady Topper and the Focal Banger, and they were both just well worth the 9.5 hours I had to drive to go get them. It was
Yeah.
so good. So
And
good.
see, that's how it is. Like with Sam, like he can get it never comes through this part. Now I have one connect in New Jersey, which is BJ, who does BJ's beer reviews. He
Right.
contacted me one time when he had it, but I wasn't gonna be there anytime soon because they'll get it occasionally through his beer store in New Jersey, but most of the time I can't find it that far down here. So
No, because they're very tight on their distribution.
yeah,
Alchemist, right? Like we have the best beer. You want it? Come get it.
gotta come get it. Yeah,
Come get it. Because and it's almost kind of smart the way they do that. Because
Yeah.
they could distribute, all over the U.S. and some parts of Canada probably if they wanted to. But
yeah,
why go through that? Why go through that effort? If you have like such an amazing product, make people come to you, and they will. Like
Yeah.
I did. Like I said, I drove 9.5 hours to get a freaking Heady Topper.
Well, one of the things that breweries run into that hurt them sometimes, depending on that brewery and I guess you say the quality of the beer type thing, is they stretch themselves too thin. So
Right.
they end up pushing too far out. And an example that we always used to use on here was like Sawgrass out of Kansas, who had decent beers, but they tried to go too far and they ended up having to shut down. They were just overextending themselves. Anchor is another situation where you kind of, if you got 70-something% coming from your state, don't try to get beers all around the world. I know you like to do that so your name's out there, but you got 70% there. The other 20 is not, just here in the US. So why are you trying to get into all the other places? Work where you're actually able to maximize, and I think you do better over that point.
Exactly. And that's just a lot of that is marketing and knowing your customer.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And like you said, sometimes you get out and you try and do too much and you stretch yourself thin, and it's like you're spending so much money on marketing to far regions and the shipping to far regions and stuff like that, and that's that incurs a cost. And
Right.
as a business, you got to be smart about it, especially nowadays with
Yeah.
the way the beer trend is changing and the alcohol trend is changing. I wouldn't want to own a brewery right now. I like to think I'm semi-intelligent. I'm not, I don't want to say I'm intelligent, but I'm semi-intelligent. But it's hard to adapt because it changes so fast. Like it seems like just a couple of weeks ago that everybody started I know it was more than a couple of weeks ago, but it just seems like non-alcoholic beers weren't really a popular thing, and then all of a sudden, like everybody's into non-alcoholic beers or like seltzers and all these different alternative to alcoholic beers, right?
Yeah, I mean, you have to pay attention to what's happening. So the seltzer run, I think probably about four 4 to 5 years in on that right now. Because I remember a couple years ago thinking,
Right.
oh, it's got to be coming to an end, right? Like people got to be getting tired because the whole we were getting White Claw like crazy and all that. But
Oh yes,
the other
absolutely.
breweries toned it in, and I think one of the ones that actually changed the game somewhat that I believe was Untitled Art. They came out with some great seltzers, and that kind of just said, you know what? Maybe these things aren't just like the White Claws we've been seeing out there, these macro type things. And then other
Right.
craft breweries started having their stuff come out, and it was like, okay, we can kind of have this. And you created this whole thing to catch the wave and stuff. And if you weren't paying attention to that, or you thought it was going to be a fad, you find yourself getting left behind possibly because people were starting to change. And now you
Sure.
have the whole attitude with some of the younger generation gravitated more to the seltzers or the non-alcoholics or these other type of stuff. So you're seeing a lot of breweries now jump into the non-alcoholic thing because they got left behind with the seltzer
Right.
type stuff. So you got to be able to put the research in, like you said, and be able to adapt and stuff. And I think we're seeing that now. But I mean, I see some good breweries that are launching that are doing some good things. But as I was pulling some stuff for the beer news, there were some breweries that were closing now too, that just weren't able to change or adapt, or they didn't
Right.
want to, or whatever it may be. And unfortunately, that's part of the game. But I've
Yeah.
always thought more recently, like it needed to happen, just get the contraction going because we have so many out there. So you got to
Sure.
like start to thin the herd out some to get the high quality to have that raise up on stuff. So
Absolutely.
yeah,
Yeah, and like I said, if I owned a brewery personally, I think I would have a hard time. I mean, I would do it obviously because you have to as a business person, you have to do it. But
hmm
I think I would have a hard time like doing, okay, hey guys, we're gonna introduce 2 non-alcoholic beers and 4 new seltzers, and that would kill me to do that because because I don't enjoy them. But that's my personal opinion. It's not you have
yeah,
to, like I said, you have to research your customer base and learn what they want because that's the important part. It's not what you like personally. Like I
yeah,
said, I don't like sours. Am I not going to make a sour? No, that would be stupid. I'm going to do 2 or 3 really super good sours, according to somebody else because I'm the worst person to ask about if a sour tastes good. But I'm going to do that because that's what my customers want. And that's what
yeah,
it's really all about is what your customers want, not what you want. And that's, like I said, you got to keep up with the times and
yeah,
adapt depending on what the trend is currently, right?
yeah. Well, it's like, as always, once in a while, we go back to that great teacher movie, Joe Dirt. It's not about you. It's about me. It's about the consumer. He's like, I
That's
don't
it.
have the other fireworks because I only like sparklers. Like, yeah, it's not about
Yeah.
you.
It was,
So you
it
got to
was
have all
no,
the
it was
other stuff too.
black snakes and the black snakes. Yeah,
And the black snakes and the black.
the black
Yeah.
snakes. I got black snakes. Like you don't have any M80s, you don't have any of these.
Whistle
Some
me
black
do's,
snakes.
whistle me don'ts. Yeah, he's going down the
Yeah,
whole list.
that was such a great movie. It's so good.
Oh man, I still get the humor on that like crazy. And it's like you talk it like my wife, she like, why are you watching this again? But it's like to me as a guy, maybe it's just like got the funniest shit in it. I just enjoy it. So
It does. Yeah, it's so funny. It was such a great movie and just like it was a total. It was just a really really well written comedy that features an underdog because
yeah,
Joe Dirt is obviously the underdog. He's had a rough life and everybody's just treated him like crap.
yeah.
And he gets it's such a great movie and it's so funny, especially when he gets the big. I got this meteor and he takes it to the scientist. He's like, oh, it's just a big turd from a plane.
Sure, yeah.
Like, no, it's a meteor. He thinks he's got a fortune and stuff. And it's just a big ball of crap. It's frozen.
I got the
It's great.
duty on me because then it goes back to just the whole thing, like you being a little kid and saying some of the shit that he would say. So yeah,
Oh
it
yeah,
was fun. It was
great,
hilarious. Yeah, of course you got
great
Christopher
movie.
Walken in there too. Christopher
Of
Walken is always
course.
awesome. You get
Yeah, so
Christopher
much
Walken
fun.
to sign on your project, you're on a good thing. If you get Christopher Walken saying he'll do the movie with you, you're doing a good thing.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, Crimson hides in Singapore to make some tools. I have been buying a new, more ergonomic edge beveler. Bison leather, actual bison hide, no hair, a nice chocolate brown. Oh, very nice.
Oh
You're talking
okay.
about her getting the bison that she was getting there. No, the
I'm
dude,
assuming that's the bison. I'm assuming the bison hide is thicker than like a cow hide. I don't know. I'm just guessing.
Vanessa up there. I
Yeah.
mean, yeah, it
Let me
might.
know,
I mean,
Vanessa.
yeah,
I don't know. I'm just guessing.
But she was getting a bison utility bag is what she was getting tomorrow. And I was asking her if that was the real bison or if that was like the name of a company or something. So real bison hide.
Right.
I will post pics of the bag after I complete it. The bag. Yeah, if you ever want to see Vanessa post stuff, Vanessa_M_Kitty on Instagram as well to see her.
Yeah, she's got some great stuff on there. Check her out for sure.
1310 IU, so Todd's giving us the IU updates because he's watching. I
Nice.
guess during the game
Thanks,
on his
Todd.
phone.
Thanks, Todd.
How the hell does Sam in Australia get the hard to find American? That's just how it works out. That's how distribution is.
You know, it's funny, Tom. Like I said, I had to drive 9.5 hours to get it. He just, I don't know, he got somebody to deliver it to him or something. I don't know.
I mean, I've seen Craig in the UK get like Treehouse. It's like we can't get Treehouse on our response, but he gets
really?
Treehouse.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. It's like distribution is just weird. Like if they got connections overseas, those guys are getting it over there in different spots too.
Oh, that's weird.
Vermont, due north of me, Interstate 91, all the way to Canada. Oh, shoot. Blast from the past. What is up, Dan? We got Western Canadian reviewer. Do you know Dan? Dan's over out west in Canada. Dropping to say hi for a few. Maybe back. Well, very nice. Isn't Calgary wet? I think he's Alberta.
Yeah,
Alberta.
Calgary, right here.
Calgary, Alberta.
Right here, baby.
Yeah.
Right here, baby. That's it.
Yeah. Yeah. So he's out west. So he's like the 3 hours behind us. Yeah.
He's a couple provinces over.
Yeah. Good guy. You ever check out his stuff? He does a lot of beers. Me and Dan go back years and years. He was one of the earlier ones. I say earlier ones, but he was kind of in the time I was doing stuff. I think he might have started a little bit before I did, actually. We used to have some great classic NHL PlayStation matches back in the day. And so we would live stream that stuff too. So
very nice.
Cool guy. Banana split is Berlin Advice, not much chocolate. Okay. I thought it was a stout for whatever reason. Okay.
Why would you ruin? That doesn't matter.
I feel like you need to have chocolate in the banana split, though, right? I mean, I'm not a banana split person, but I feel like there's chocolate on it usually.
Yeah, for sure. Usually it's like chocolate cherry or chocolate strawberry,
pineapple.
Yeah.
We have Lost 40 Brewery here. They just keep coming out with different brews. I hope they don't go under. They have a few that are pretty good. Oh, very nice, Aubrey. Do they have like a standard base of brews, or are they kind of coming up with stuff new? Like 450 North, they always come out with stuff new all the time, which is funny. So here I am here. They're doing a beer fest in DC upcoming, and I saw 450 North was going to be on it. So they're coming in from Indiana, which is funny because usually you just see them around the Indiana or maybe Ohio type stuff or Kentucky, but they're coming into DC for it.
That's all right.
We can't hear their breweries closing left and right because of the government money. You have to pay back the inflation and not being able to keep up with the cost of the equipment production. Yeah. I got a Canadian thing there from Mr. Ford, what he said about the LCBO up there too. Which every time I hear the LCBO, I always think of wrestling. I always think like from the LCBO, and it's like I feel like it's like WWE or something like that. Like when they announce like a wrestler coming to the ring, now representing the LCBO. Like, I don't know why that's always stuck in my head, but it just always did. Whenever all my Canadian friends will say I got it to LCBO, I just start thinking of a wrestling type thing.
That's awesome.
Mine is a kidney and testicle after acquiring a heavy vocal, but extremely happy. It'll cost you some body parts. Yeah.
What are you talking about? Those are the two of the most delicious beers I've ever had so far. Yeah. I mean, I've only been doing this for like 4 years, right? So,
well, it's a good thing you get 2 of each, right? So, yeah.
Well, Sam did a really interesting thing on it, and I didn't realize this was a thing to do because he had the heady topper and the focal banger, and he reviewed them both individually.
Yeah.
But apparently, it's really cool to mix the two beers together.
Do a cuvee.
Yeah, and I'm like, I said I never even thought of that. So now I got to spend another 9.5 hours to drive down there so I can try that. Well worth the drive though. I'm not complaining about it.
Big Daddy sipping a new Lagunitas, the beast of both worlds, IPA East Coast flavor, West Coast clarity, 8%, really good. Well, I don't know if you just saw, I just did their Tiki Lagunitas beer this past week. I think it was last week. I can't remember when I did it. I put it on the channel as well. But that was the first Lagunitas I've had it. Well, I can't say I've had in a bit because I did have the Willowtie Stout. But outside of that, I hadn't had a pretty much a Lagunitas beer for a while, I think, since maybe last year's Willowties. But There was a time I used to get the 22-ounce bottles like almost every week, it seemed, when they used to do the big bombers.
Right.
They were the kings of that too. They'd be like, "Oh, you get this bomber," and it'd be like $8.79 or something, some weird price. Like, really? Like, Rogue is like $15, and you're like cutting them in half. Oh yeah, I guess I'm logging these. So,
Yeah, why not, right?
yeah,
Why not?
the days of the 22-ounce bomber days, those are going now. Now the 22 ounces have been replaced by the 19.2-ounce cans. Is what's happening. So
Right.
even
Yeah, exactly.
Lawson's just put Sip of Sunshine into a 19.2-ounce can as well. Everybody's just going that route. So
Right. Yeah, exactly.
yeah,
I wish we could get
Husker
more
does,
Lagunitas
Husker
stuff up
don't.
here.
That's what it was the Huskers. The Husker do's, Huskers don't.
There we go.
Joe Dirt, yeah. Last few months have been quite grim for our Aussie craft industry. May have gone under some unexpected breweries. Also, it's so sad our government's excessive alcohol taxes make it very tough. Yeah, well,
Yeah.
government and tax.
It sounds like Sam has the same problem we have up here, and it totally makes sense because our countries really aren't that much different from each other. Just tax.
He said they're third highest in the world. Maybe you guys are number 2.
We might be never mind. We might be number 1 because we pay such a disgusting amount for alcohol, and even our cell phone service. I think we actually have the most expensive cell phone service in the entire world up here in Canada.
Yeah,
like what we pay for our cell phones every month.
Wow,
it's disgusting. It's gross. It's absolutely gross.
And then Vanessa said, yes, bison can be thick. This is made from about 8 ounce. 8 ounces, 1/8 inch or 3 millimeter thick. Okay. There you go. So yeah, so it's probably thicker than a cow.
Yeah, I like I said, it was just a guess. I don't know. I was just spitballing there.
But we could take a look at some of the beer news if you're going to do that with me here.
Sure, yeah, let's do that.
Don't go there. Let's have a little bit of that. All right, taking a look, flipping it over to the beer news. So this is something I learned the other day. I wasn't expected. The unexpected reason why people are washing their pillowcases with IPA beer. Apparently, this is a thing going around, but the hops acidic compounds, hulamone and lupulone, increase GABA activity, which is supposed to be this thing for hormone, I guess, when you sleep, and slow down our central nervous system. I had to read the story when I saw the headline, and basically people are putting anywhere from a splash to maybe a cup or IPA when they're washing their pillowcases and stuff like that, and their sheets, and it fused into the sheets. But when you actually go to rest, because of some of the tones that come out from the hops in the beer, it helps you go to dreamland a little bit quicker. And then the historical aspects.
Hey, honey, you need to do some laundry right now. Yeah, you got to do some pillowcases. She's probably going to be coming down and going, what?
and apparently they pulled like stuff where back historically some older tribes had done this, where it was kind of like the hop type, you put hops and stuff around bedding and that, and it makes you go to sleep a little bit easier. So it's an interesting thing. So everybody went through a Bill Nye science experiment this weekend.
Yeah,
drop
really,
a little
right?
IPA into your laundry when you do the sheets.
Where is my? I'm trying to find my notepad because I need to write this down so I don't forget it. Because I'm doing that. That's going to be an episode on my channel right there. Where the hell is my pen? Yeah, I got it. Oh, my pen's right there. I got to try that.
Yeah. And Vanessa, maybe that'll help you with the insomnia at times. I don't know. I know you're more of a stout person, but they said it's the hops that are used in a lot of your IPAs can actually provide a benefit when they're used in also washing your laundry. Not all your laundry. You don't want to go, your sweatsuits and shorts and all that kind of stuff, but like your linen, your bed sheets, and your pillowcases.
Now, do you know, Rod, if they're using just like a cup of IPA in the water, or if they're just like using just IPA?
It's that some people go from a splash to like a can or whatever. So yeah, some people just put a little splash in there, and some will put more, depending. I guess it's a trial and error to see what works for you, if it does work.
That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to do a splash. I'll do a splash in one, maybe a full can in another one, and then maybe just wash one in like a bucket with nothing but IPA. Like have a couple cans. It's a waste of beer, but whatever.
Well, I mean, I think they're still using
that.
I think they're still using the detergent in there as well, but the IPA with it. But that's a good question. I don't think it was just the IPA by itself.
Because I'd be curious if the detergent would offset like the hop residue and that, like the compounds, the acidic compounds. So I'm going to try it a couple. I think I'm going to try it a couple different ways. Because that'd be kind of interesting to find out if it's just like, because like I said, I do like one with just like maybe like a half a can, then do one with like 2 cans, and then do one where it's just nothing but IPA, no water, just IPA. Rinse it, throw it in the dryer, and
from the story, pour your Peter Piper picked peppers. How many peppers did Peter Piper? Yeah. Pour your pillowcase a pint. Advice on how much to add to your machine or tub of water if you are hand washing ranges from a splash of beer to a 1:1 ratio of beer to water. So you are just doing it with the beer by itself. Letting the beer go stale first is also up for debate. Wash the pillowcase in the mixture and dry it on the line or in your dryer. So maybe it's just doing the pillowcase. Don't do the whole sheet. Maybe just do the pillowcase because that's where you're.
Sure, yeah, that's what I would do. I would just do the pillowcase and then.
Yeah.
So I think I'll do. Yeah, so I'm going to do it 3 different ways. On 3 different pillowcases, like one day, and just kind of figure out what my sleep is like for those 3 days.
Yeah.
And I'll try and make sure that I'm going to be able to get like the same amount of sleep, just so I can test it out. Yeah, but that's an interesting little. I think I'll do that experiment. That's kind of fun.
Little IPA dreams there. There you go.
Could be.
Let's see. Trez in the house. Cheers, Trez. What's up, homie? Great to see you.
Trez, what's up?
And what does the pillowcase smell like in 2 days? Well, I don't know. We haven't tried that part yet, but I mean, maybe it smells like hops. Maybe it smells like a field of dreams because it's all hops,
Yeah. Hops is a great smell.
Wasn't Vancouver like one of the rock concert go-to places back in the 80s? Beer prices today might kill that one. Vancouver was a big touring spot, was it back then? Do you know?
Yeah, well, Vancouver is always a pretty popular, like the places you need to go to in Canada, because it's a pretty big city. So
I've been watching my drawers and kale slurry. I haven't had to wipe again. Really, JT? Really?
That's awesome, James. Cheers, man.
Todd said Murphy's is still behind. Yeah, so Guinness is 68%. Murphy's is 32% right now in the poll on which one you would rather have to drink between the two. Don't try to add in anybody extra. It's just those two. So
just the two.
Yeah. Let's see here. So here's another one for all you fans of your pizza that you get at the store that you bring home. Tombstone is teaming up with Voodoo Ranger for a 7% ABV refreshing beer that will be a pizza flavored beer. So maybe you get this beer and you get a Tombstone pizza and put them together.
Man, that'd be that sounds interesting. That kind of piques my interest. I'm kind of keen for that.
Yeah, Voodoo's all over the place doing some different stuff. So now
they do some great stuff. They do some great stuff though.
Yeah, the tea I just had was definitely different. It wasn't terrible, but it was different in the Voodoo series. But the Brute Force wasn't as huge a fan of that one. Wasn't terrible, but was definitely the lowest Voodoo Ranger of any of the ones I've had.
Yes.
Outside the tea might have been a little bit lower. Yeah.
Yeah. Out of the handful of the Voodoo Rangers, because I've only had a handful of them, obviously.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the Juice Force was okay. Like you said, it was all right, but it wasn't quite up there.
But I haven't been a huge fan of a lot of the Juice IPAs. Southern Tier had done a Juice one as well, and I wasn't a huge fan of that one either. It was too juicy. It was like, and I say too juicy, meaning it was almost like a concentrated juice that you would get and just you do some alcohol in it. Like this didn't appeal to me as much. So
okay. Right.
Yeah. But talking about beer pizza, Trinity Brewing, they're expanding to offer a beer infused pizza. Now Trinity is actually out west, I believe, but they're actually putting a new sweet basil beer infused crust. Which I'm kind of surprised that some breweries may not, like some places may not have tried this before. But you think about beer and pizza always going together, but they're actually coming up with a beer infused crust to actually do that. Sounds pretty interesting.
That actually might be pretty good. Like especially
Yeah.
with the basil and the beer flavor in the crust, that might actually work pretty well.
Yeah. I would try it. That's for sure.
Oh, for sure, absolutely,
Yeah.
that'd be good.
Yeah.
I'd enjoy that.
Yeah. And this one, my old stomping grounds, pretty much. Craft beer and bourbon industries. They talk about how they're intertwined in Kentucky, but business has actually been booming for both of them down there. So Kentucky's been exploding, obviously with the bourbon. Everybody knows bourbon out of Kentucky, but then they also have
Sure,
some great success with the craft beer industry. So they're finding them actually both working well off of each other. You have a lot of good Kentucky breweries that are doing bourbon barrel stuff from the Kentucky bourbon distilleries that are there. So great to see them actually having some good success. And again, there's pockets around the country where it's like you see people struggling, but you see other pockets where people are succeeding. So it just kind of depends.
right.
Um, Up in Michigan, it's always interesting whenever a brewery decides to do something with a politician, so to speak, because you never know which way it's going to fall out, right? Because you always got people on
That's
this
true.
side or that side. So, and I feel like if you do it when you're maybe a small brewery, you might have a little bit more leniency because not many people know who you are, right? If you're a
Right.
bigger brewery, people know who you are, you feel like you're taking a little bit more of a risk or whatever. But I'm still interested to see what this one might do. But Bell's Brewing, they actually just had Governor
Okay.
Whitmer in from Michigan, and she actually came down and actually took part of the brewing process. I don't know if she really knew much what she was doing. Besides, they said, "Hey, do this, put this in this, and put that in that." But they showed pictures of her doing the whole photo op, right? They're
Right.
making a wit beer. It's going to be a Governor's Wit beer brew because it'll be a wit beer, and her last name is Whitmer. See what they're doing there with the
Sure.
whole wordplay type thing.
It's
Infused
awesome.
with Michigan grown hops and peaches. So I said, "Ooh,
Nice.
that sounds like it'd be pretty interesting." Because anybody that has Bell's Brewing knows that Bell's puts out some really good beer. So I'd be interested to see
They do.
that one there. For so some of you that get the Bell's Brewing out of Michigan, definitely look out for that one out there as well.
That sounds like it'd be good, actually.
Yeah,
Nice little
yeah,
whip beer with some peach in it. And
yeah.
like you said, Bell's does some great stuff. I just did a little 4-part series on Bell's. I picked up a variety pack when I was over the border, and solid beers for sure.
Yeah, yeah. And for my fans that are metalheads, death metal heads, I feel like I should have Paul here or have like Josh Simmons, because I know they are some of the stuff they listen to. But Decide, who is actually a death metal band, they're teaming up with Three Floyds to come out with the Light Defeated Stout. It's going to debut at the Decibel Magazine Metal and Beer Fest. It'll be a classic American style stout with an ABV coming in at a perfect, not to be expected,
Of course.
6.66% ABV.
And that is awesome that they dialed in the ABV at 6.66.
Yeah.
I mean, how much more fitting of an ABV can you get than 6.66 when you're doing a death metal band beer? That is awesome.
It makes perfect sense. Like that's where you would want to actually have it at. And you want it to be a stout because it's death metal, right? It's like
That's right.
Metallica had teamed up, and I think it was Stone they did a beer with, and the beer they had done, it was like a Pilsner. It's like, why would you have Metallica on a Pilsner? Like they should be
that makes
definitely. Yeah. So they did it right here with Three Floyds. I'll give them that credit there. And that's a beer to look out for if you are Three Floyds. I don't know when it'll get distribution everywhere, but this is where they're going to actually unveil it at the beer fest, and hopefully they'll be bottling it and canning it as well. For any of you Bend It Like Beckham fans out there, David Beckham was named the official ambassador for Stella Artois beer. Only reason I got that because I like saying Artois, because it's Stella Artois. It makes you feel fancy. Artois. So, but you'll probably see commercials with him popping up on your TV or on YouTube or wherever about him being the ambassador with them. So Stella Artois, Stella Artois is not really a bad beer. I actually enjoy having that. Like, if you have like a nice steak, like we have some steakhouse here, like say a Ruth Chris or Morton's, Stella Artois pairs well with it. So it's not, even though it's like a big beer, it's like it's a decently done Pilsner they have there with the Stella Artois.
It's not bad. I don't mind the Stella every once in a while. But I think the best part about Stella is, when you order a Stella, you're going to get that fancy Stella glass, right?
Yeah.
And sometimes that's what it's all about for some people. Like, oh, that glass is really fancy. Let's get that.
It's all about stature when you order a Stella. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. For sure.
She's walking through the restaurant holding it high, and everybody's looking. Oh, what is that? What is that there? That's a fancy glass, right?
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. And that's what people grab, and especially with the gold, that little gold rim that they
The
have.
gold rim around it.
And
Yeah.
everybody think, oh, that must be fancy. It's got a gold rim on it, you know. But it's funny you said Ruth Chris's earlier. We actually have one here in Niagara Falls, and I've never been there. I've never been there, but we do have one here.
It's I like it. We go there usually. It's like anniversary, birthday, like usually an occasion for something like that.
Right.
I'm a person that I feel like I put like prices on food. Like, do I really need a $60 steak? Is it that much more to get something? I mean, it is a tasty steak, but I'm not like, I don't
Right.
know if it's worth $60. Like, I'm just always that kind of type thing there, where it's kind of like, do I want to pay up for? But I'm always
Right.
happy when I get it. It's just like, is it worth it? I never know if it's really worth it. But it's kind of like when I went out and got like when I went to the one store, like Black Tuesday from the brewery, $60 a bottle for a 25-ounce bottle. I'm like, oh, I don't know if I want to pay that. Blah, blah. I get to New Jersey and I find it for $50. You know what? I'll buy it for 50. Like, why?
Sure.
Why 50, not 60? I mean, it's only a $10 difference, but it just felt like I felt better about myself for some reason. So
right. Yeah. I saved $10. God damn it. You know. And that's kind of like me on my Utopia search right now.
Yeah.
You know, like, because Utopias can go between $190 up to $400 US.
Yeah.
And I don't want to pay $400 for Utopia, so I would rather pay $200 for Utopias. You know.
Well, did you talk to Vanessa yet? Because she said her spouse still
I have
left right now. She said it earlier, so she might be going back there again. So yeah.
Yeah, I did actually message her on Instagram, I think a week or so ago.
Mm-hmm.
Because she was like, "Hey, blah blah blah." I'm like, "Hey, I'll message you on Instagram after my live there." So, but
Nice,
yeah, I think she's going to be my hookup for my Utopias. And I can't wait. I'm so excited, and it's gonna hurt it hurts the pocketbook. I mean, that's a lot of money.
Oh, it's a lot of money, yeah.
Beer. But
you say sometimes you say at a point, you know what, you only live once, so
and that's it.
Enjoyable type things.
Yeah, and to me, I'm not looking at it as paying, $200 for a beer. I'm paying $200 for an experience, which as I've gotten older, and I've said this to a couple of my friends recently. As I get older, I don't necessarily need like things. Like I don't need, the latest high definition TV that just came out last week. I don't need that. My TV that I've had for a couple of years works fine. For me, it's all about like experiences, like going out, even just like dinner with friends, just the experience. And as I've gotten older, I'm learning to appreciate time, which I kind of touched on earlier. Like spending time with people you like, friends and stuff, and experiencing different things that you wouldn't normally do. So, to me, I look at it as an experience as opposed to, oh my god, it's a $200 beer. No, it's not a $200 beer. It's a $200 experience that I'm probably only going to do once in my life. I mean, let's be serious. Like nobody goes out and buys a case of Utopias. Okay, no, nobody does that. And and it's very rare that you'll get a guy, with the exception of probably Todd. Hope you're watching. That will sit there and drink a Utopias in one sitting, which you're not supposed to do.
Don't drink it around Todd. That's what I was going to say.
No, well, because Todd will just drink the whole goddamn thing in one sitting, which you're not supposed to do. It's meant to be enjoyed over a period of time.
Right.
I can't believe he drank that all in one sitting. Unbelievable.
Yeah,
I still shake my head at it.
Then he was upset because the guy wouldn't give him the bottle. Like, you drank all of Utopia. You don't need the bottle too. He's like, but I drank it all.
I said, Todd's a fantastic guy, but my God, don't drink a whole bottle of Utopias by yourself in one night. That's just wrong. It's wrong.
Oh, just seeing Todd think, I'll do the big deal about this thing. I drank the whole bottle. Oh man. Let's see. Alaskan Brewing, which Alaskan Brewery does some good beers. Introducing Wildness, a lifestyle beer. I don't know what that's all about. A blonde golden ale, 5% ABV. They say refreshingly crisp, boldly infused with a pioneer spirit. Seems like the intern got a little ahead of themselves on the write-up for this one, but this is one that'll be coming out soon that you'll see if you haven't seen it yet from Alaskan Brewing and you get their stuff. And like I said, they do some good beers. Golden ales are always a little bit of an iffy for me, but I'd probably give it a shot, see what it tasted like there, just to knock it out. Because knowing what they put out, it'd be worth me saying, okay, I'll try their golden ale.
Sure. And why not, right? Like I said, I think with golden ales, I'm probably in the, I don't know, 10, 12, 15 that I've tried. I think I'm like 50-50 on them. Some of them were like really good, and some of them were like, this is okay. They're never terrible, but they're just like, it's okay, for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, Voodoo, decent beer. Yeah, the Juicy IPA, I still get that from time to time. That's another one in 19% of can you can just grab there.
VD is for Voodoo. Okay, he said VD, and I went somewhere totally out. I'm like, wow, they make a beer now? Jeepers creepers.
You get a beer and a shot, so there you go.
Apparently. Get a beer and some penicillin. Off you go.
The Hofbrau's Chicago location closed down. They reopened as Crust Brewing. They have beer infused crust, and it's awesome. So here you go. See, so you have some places opening up with the beer infused crust. Sad to see them close down. I think the one in Cincinnati or Northern Kentucky, I should say, Newport, is still open. They were the first one in the States because their family was tied to the family back in Germany, and then they opened up some other locations around the country. But Hofbrau's is always a fun one. If you ever see a Hofbrau's and it's open. The beer, the singing, the camaraderie. It's a fun experience. Like you said, experiences, you get a fun experience when you go to one of those.
Exactly. And that's what I said. That's what I've been gravitating towards the past, say, year and a half or so, is experiences as opposed to things.
JT now drinking a Schwarzbier by Double Clutch Brewing, Evanston, Illinois. I always like a nice Schwarzbier for sure.
Yep. For sure. Yeah.
4 Stella glasses. I have a couple. I have this couple of Stella glasses. I also have the cider glass too here, as a matter of fact. When they did the
cider glass.
Yeah, they did a cider a couple years back too. So I have that. It says, I should say Cidre because it's CIDRE the way they spell it. But yeah, I have that one too. They do some. I mean, like I said, Stella. They're as a macro, they're probably one of the more bougie type macros out there, a little more fancier than than your Buds or your Millers or your Coors and stuff, but they do decent.
I think that's what the angle they were looking for too, is to be just it's just a little teeny bit fancy, like I said, with the special glass and the gold rim, just to stand out just that little teeny bit more, right?
Yeah. Aubrey said, like the food at Hofbrau in Missouri, but the drafts are mediocre to me. Okay. Well, depending on what they make, and depends on how you run their draft lines. I would think it should be kind of the same they have around spot, but maybe do different beers out there too. It's been a long time since I've been to the one in Cincinnati, though. I always enjoy Stella, great light beer. Yeah, it's crisp, it's refreshing, it's an easy drinking beer. I'm telling you, like if you're having like a steak or something, a Stella makes a nice pairing for that. And it's real, doesn't overpower anything, goes right along with it. Todd said 32-27 halftime. IU up. All right.
There we
go.
You
can come back for part of the halftime show if you want while you're waiting. So just saying.
Yeah, might as well, Todd. You might as well come on. I mean, there's nothing going on. What the hell?
He's probably like, I can't move now. If I move, I'll have bad luck. I got to stay locked into my seat just like it is right now. Yeah.
you sitting there does not affect the game at all, no matter what you may believe.
Oh, Chicago open. That mouth out here. Chicago Guinness Open Gate Brewery. Big Daddy, you're there. They're going to be celebrating St. Patrick's Day with a block party. Now, that will be fun in Chicago because this is the first St. Patrick's Day for the new Guinness brewery that they put there. So anybody around the Chicago area, it should be a great time. Dave, if you're still on Beer in Front, be a great opportunity to kind of check out some stuff there. They've been doing stuff since yesterday through the 17th. They're doing up there. And here in Maryland at the Open Gate, we actually have like a village that they set up. I need to go over there. I need to try to do that this weekend because they got like a whole Irish village and people come out there, have a good time, good food, all that kind of stuff. But the line is like crazy. Like I'm not a person like to wait in line for stuff. And last time I went last year, like the line was like, and they got a huge, massive parking lot, and the line was like down and down. And that's like, do I want to stay out here that whole time? And I ended up going like the Heavy Seas or something, grabbing a beer. But yeah,
right.
So, but again,
speaking of,
go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say, speaking of St. Patrick's Day coming up, No, because it's going to be past that. What are your thoughts, or even just anybody in the chat? What are your thoughts on green beer? I'm curious what people think about green beer.
I don't actually usually drink it. I don't think I've ever drank green beer. Usually it's like Miller Lite or something like that too. So I'm not usually going to drink that for the most part.
Right.
But I mean, if I was somewhere and it was part of the festivity, I probably would. I just have never been around to really to.
Okay, so
let's situation.
Let me rephrase this a little bit then. Let's say you have a choice. Let's say they're pouring whatever lager, pilsner, or whatever they happen to have, and they're like, "Do you want the green beer or do you want just as it is?" What do you pick?
I mean, if it was like an event for it and it was kind of like St. Patrick's Day, I probably would do the green beer just for the
festivity. Wrong answer.
But it's just food. It's just food dye color, so it wouldn't. I don't think affect the taste that much. I
don't know, and it's just me. I get so annoyed over when people they have I don't know, a lot of bars and a lot of venues do this. You order a Coors Light or whatever the hell your lager, pilsner, whatever the hell is. And they put like you said, the little couple drops of food coloring. That drives me crazy. I don't know what it is because you go. Here's what you do: take a flight, go over to Ireland on St. Patrick's Day, and see how many Irish guys are drinking green beer. Do you know how many guys are drinking green beer in Ireland? This many, freaking zero.
They probably kick you out of the pub if you ask for it there.
They will. Yeah. They not only will they kick you out of the pub, they'll beat you up, steal your money, so they can drink some more beer. It's not green.
Speaking of Ireland tips, if you ever go to Ireland, and this was learned from one of our friends I work with who went to Ireland before, never ask for an Irish car bomb at the bar. Just saying, they're still pretty sensitive on that whole stuff with
probably.
He didn't realize because over here you can do an Irish car bomb and you drop it in Bailey's, whatever, you chug it. Yeah,
right.
That doesn't work over there. So
no. Yeah, I can see how that could go wrong, pretty fast. That's for sure.
The guy that told us the story, because he's like more of a straight lace type guy, so you could just tell it was like a naive type moment, not realizing it. And it was like, seriously, you walked into an Irish bar and you asked for an Irish car bomb, like you did not know the history about that. Like, probably not a good idea.
A guy who does that, I mean, you fully expect the bartender to just sit there and go, "You're not from around here, are you?"
Right.
And the next thing you know, you're move along, go to the next bar. Like
that's one of the scenes where the piano player stops playing the piano or the DJ scratches the records like that. Like everything just stops.
Yeah, no, everything gets really quiet all of a sudden, right? And there's just that gasp for like, oh,
It's like,
you know what? I'm gonna write that down because
just a travel tip: if you ever go to Ireland, don't ask for an Irish car bomb.
Yeah. Because I have a new project I'm going to start to work on very shortly. So that might be kind of fun to do in there. I'll probably I might talk about that a little bit tomorrow. I'm going to do a different kind of live on my main channel tomorrow.
Okay.
So I'll send you a link later on when I get that set
definitely.
Up, Rod.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm gonna doing something a little bit different going forward. That I'll talk about tomorrow night.
This will be in the main channel, not the interview channel, but the main channel.
Yeah, it'll be on my main channel tomorrow night. Yeah, because it's gonna be. It's not gonna be like my main, my usual like one-on-one like I usually do.
Right.
So I'm just gonna throw a live on my main channel and just have a couple people invited in.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll talk about that tomorrow. I'll probably set it up after we're done on this live, and I'll get it set up. So I have it ready for you for tomorrow.
Problem with Stella is a green bottle draft is like, well, definitely less likely to be skunk. But with Stella, we get it in cans as well too, which that's another thing. You can do a comparison because I've seen people do it with Heineken, the green bottle versus the can. You can do it with Stella with the bottle versus the can as well. You can kind of see.
I don't know if we get Stella cans up here.
Yeah, we get cans here.
I know we get the green bottles, but I could be wrong. I don't know if I've ever seen, like in my particular area, I don't think I've ever seen Stella in a can.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not to say that I mean, I might not have even, because I usually don't look for it. So,
Yeah,
but
because we get
I'm gonna
like some
keep
of
an eye
the
out for that.
like they'll do cans like for some of the singles up. Like you can get like a single can, just like you can of Bud Light or whatever like that and everything. So yeah.
Right. Yeah, I don't think I've ever seen Stella in a can before up here. I don't even know if they have it up here.
11 minutes till they start. All right, excuses, Todd. Excuses.
So that's 11 minutes. You can come and chat with us. What the hell?
He says, "Yeah, they know when I move." Well, the
Oh my God.
superstition's kicking in.
Unbelievable, this guy.
They need me right here. Side note: that was a great steakhouse called Chris. A woman named Ruth bought it, and it got called Ruth. Oh, I did not know that. There you
Oh,
go.
okay. That's cool.
I was going to ask that earlier. Some of our local breweries are doing green beer specials. One is doing a light beer that's green for $3 all weekend. A $3 green beer, would you drink it? It's $3.
Just
I
give
mean,
me
in
the beer.
Canadian conversion, that's a good amount in Canadian version.
Give me the beer. Well, like $3 American is like $1,800 Canadian, right? So just you know what? Give me the beer. I'm gonna do you a favor. Pour the beer. Don't put the food coloring in it, and give it to me. I'll still give you the $3. I don't need a green beer. I don't need a green beer. That's just my personal opinion. But that's,
Right, so I have to grab one of those new T-shirts. So yeah, definitely. Not just me. Yeah, last time he got one was the medium. It was after Thanksgiving, and I think he had a little too from the Thanksgiving, so he ended up giving it to his wife, and we got him a large replacement and stuff like that and everything. But yeah, check out the new shirts, the new gear. I got the hats like this that are out there, the snapbacks, and a few other stuff. I got the bucket hats. I've got a few different things there in the store. And for those of you watching below the channel, there should be like items shown down there where you can actually click into the store if you want to. So, but yeah,
well, that's something I'll definitely have to do. I'll have to add a Rod J shirt.
yeah,
because I literally have like my wall
shirt at some point. Yeah, but see, you do everything yourself. But do you order the shirts, or do you actually like I do everything through Spreadshirt and have it link into YouTube?
Well, most of the shirts that I do, I get done through like the logo. I get the logo printed, and I just do the transfers myself from a company called Ninja Transfers, which is a great company. Their customer service is freaking top notch and good product. So that's what I use. But I mean, I don't necessarily have a storefront like you do because I've only got 600 subscribers or whatever the hell I've got. I'm not legendary yet. But one day when I get legendary, I got to throw it into the conversation at some point in time. I always
do. Blah.
Yeah. When I get legendary, I will have my own storefront. But yeah, I can actually. I think I've got one transfer left over here. I can definitely make you up one, Rod, if you want one. I can send.
Oh, okay.
Not a big deal. Not a big deal.
Yeah. Yeah, but everything for people that are watching, like with Spreadshirt, like 'cause I got people that watch, like you're saying, you're up in Canada. But I got people in the UK. They ship everywhere because with YouTube, so you can get anywhere you want with that, which makes it nice and easy too, so you don't have to worry about dealing with anything.
For sure.
And then Vanessa, if you're still here, I'm going into my third beer. And you might want to check this one out because it's going to be
a stout.
No, it's going to be Tales of Gold.
Oh,
Dragon
nice.
Milk.
Nice.
Dragon Milk. So 11% ABV. It is a golden ale with milk sugar, but being that it's a dragon's milk, that means we have to show you know what. Got to bring the dragon out whenever it's a dragon.
Of course.
Oh yeah.
You have to. You have to.
So I finally went ahead and got this one here after seeing it so many times. And actually, it was one of my local grocery store. Well, it's not a grocery. It's next to the grocery store, but it was like $15.99 for a 4-pack, which is pretty decent. Usually like $17.99 or $18.99. So yeah, save a few bucks there. Which usually grocery store chains are a little bit higher than the regular spots, but it works.
For sure.
So that is what I'm going to crack open here next. Emerson says Shane hates the Irish. Heard it here first. He especially hates Irish Americans.
What? No, I never said that. What the hell? Just despite my last name, which I know you don't know, I'm actually Irish, not French, like my last name would indicate.
Maybe that's why the green beer cut so much because you're French. I mean, you're Irish, so
I,
the green beer is hitting the.
I just don't like. Yeah, I just don't like the green beer. It's I find it, and again, it's a personal opinion. It's just me, guys. If you want to drink a green beer, go ahead. I'm going to give you a little sideways glance. I'm like, okay, buddy. You know, it's just a personal opinion. I don't like green beer.
Well, Liz and JT are big on Chicago dying in a river every year green. That's cool. I mean, I don't know. It's kind of a cool thing I thought, but I can see where maybe it bothers some people, I guess. But I think the dye changes like after a week or so. Every St. Patty's Day, they dye the river green in Chicago.
It's funny. I've seen guys do that in like if they have like a pond on their property.
Yeah.
They'll do like a blue dye kind of thing. And apparently it doesn't harm like the fish or the plants or anything like that, like any of the aquatic kind of things.
Yeah.
If it's not killing any of the fish or the animals or any of the plants, I got no problem with that. It's whatever. It's fine. As long as it's not in my beer, I don't care.
Yeah. Like Aubrey said, you see a green bottle, so you think, here we go. Instead, it goes down smooth with a perfect crisp after a bite. Yeah. That's what I'm saying. So the Stella ones are pretty, you also got to hope they actually are keeping them the right way too. Like they're not being like put in a hot room or something like that and everything. So like you go to get it at some of your fancier restaurants, they're going to probably store them correctly. You would hope they would at least, or have an idea on how to do that.
You would think so.
You would think so. But I went to one restaurant and they were like, oh, I ordered the stout. They brought me this, like, this isn't a stout. And they're like, well, the mansion says stout. Like, no, this is a strong ale. Not even a stout color. This is like burgundy. It's not brown. Like,
right.
And it's like you guys are serving, don't even know what the hell you're serving. Like, you're just, and they're like, well, the sales guy told us this was a stout. Like, the sales guy was wrong for one. And two, exactly. I don't believe the sales guy told you that, because the sales guy should definitely know what they're selling. So,
yeah, absolutely.
My wife just rolls her eyes like, okay, I digress. I'm not going to get into it with the guy. I'm just saying, it's not what I ordered. It's not what I ordered. He doesn't know what the hell he's doing, but I'll drink it because it's still a good beer. It's just not what I was expecting. And now my parents fucked up, but we're dealing with it.
Yeah, there we go. Perfect. There you go.
Oh, they probably hate when beer guys and stuff come in there like, this isn't like what I thought it was going to be there. Yeah. It's their own beer. It's just their light beer with the green beer. This I just learned I'm 99.3% Irish, and that's probably why the idea of green beer makes me break out in hives. Although it could be the green slurry James puts in it.
That's probably exactly what it is, Liz. That's exactly what it is. Give me 1 second.
All right.
I will be right back, sir.
Don't have James making your drinks. He might give you the old Bill Cosby slip it in type thing. Second half now. I'll be back if you guys are still on after the game. All right, Todd. Todd's back in the game mode right now. Aubrey says, Todd, the last beer I ever bought with green dye in it was St. Patty's Day at a restaurant chain that today has went under called Bennigan. Oh, I remember the days of Bennigan's before I got out. A lady got on the bar dancing with zero with clothing, that is. Zero clothing on. Bennigan's back in the day, that was like a rival for Fridays, I believe. But I do remember Bennigan's being back through the 80s and the 90s. And I guess towards the end of the 90s, beginning of the 2000s, where a lot of them started going out of business and stuff. But yeah, Bennigan's was a hot spot for a second. Let's see, beer news over here. I got to wait for the other one for Shane to come back. But if you're in the Pittsburgh area, Von Trapp will be joining in your beer market, which if you've never had a Von Trapp beer, you've got good things coming. They do some great beers out of Vermont, and it'll be interesting to see what you guys get down there. But if you're in that area where you get that distribution, I think you will enjoy. And we also had some stuff here, which Mal would have liked this story if Mal would have been here, but legislation has been introduced to support draft beer businesses here in the government of the states. The bipartisan bill will support local establishments by incentivizing the expansion of tap lines and keg equipment. So basically, breweries getting set up, new equipment, things along those lines will be basically able to write more off on their tax type stuff and get tax breaks. So they're behind more success in the brewery area. So if you have a brewery, if you're at breweries like Mal and Chew, they're going to be starting a brewery. There's going to be benefits to doing it where they're going to be able to get more write-offs and things like that. And then the other one here, which you just pull back, so I'll bring it up because this was Canada. We will never, ever sell the LCBO. Doug Ford says amid Ontario protests. So apparently, in your province, they're protesting Doug Ford about the LCBO. Which, again, I hear the LCBO, and I think a wrestler coming down the runway at WWE, but
Right, yeah.
Doug Ford's walking out like Paul Heyman. We will never sell the LCBO.
Well, Doug Ford is. I'm assuming he's a very big beer guy because a couple of years ago he got on the big like buck of beer
right? Yeah.
And he challenged all these breweries to like, hey, make a buck of beer, make it affordable for Ontario guys. And some of the guys tried it, and after a very short time they realized like, wow, we cannot make any money making $1 a beer. So they ended up being like, like $1.50, $2. And if you get $1 beer up here in Canada, it's crap. It really is.
Yeah.
It's like the bottom of the barrel kind of beer. As you would expect, like $1 beer.
It's like dollar beer night at the hockey rink, right? Like $1 beer, you're not expecting a high quality beer if they're doing $1 beer.
No, absolutely not. So you're getting like a 3.5 or a 4% beer that isn't made well. It's just kind of thrown together. And yeah, that didn't last very long when you did the buck of beer. And now with the LCBO, which is the Liquor Control Board of Ontario, for people who don't know, we actually have two main places we buy beer up here in Canada. One is the LCBO, which is more of a like that's where you go to buy your liquor or your wine. So that's like if you're getting like vodka, rye, any of your wines, like your ice wines, your red wines, your white wines. But they also have a great beer selection. And our other option is a place called the Beer Store. Wow, how original is that? You sell beer there, you call it the Beer Store, right?
They want to keep it simple.
Yeah, right. But most of the beer stores, not all of them, most of the beer stores tend to house just like macro beers. Like that's where you go to buy like a case of Canadian, your Coors Light, your Keith's, whatever, anything that's mass produced. Some of the beer stores actually have a craft beer section, but not all of them. There's only actually a few that have like an actual craft beer section. So for guys like me, I like to go to the LCBO because they actually have a better beer selection than a place called the Beer Store. Tell me that's not wrong to start with. Right? Like, oh, hey, where do you go to get your beer? The beer store? No, I go to the LCB. I go to the liquor store. I go to the liquor store to buy beer because they have a better selection.
You say that, and I don't know if you were big like watching Seinfeld stuff back in the day, but it made me think of the episode with George talking about the jerk store. He tried to tell a joke, say, "Where'd you get that guy at the jerk store?"
The jerk store. Funny. Here's a story that kind of pissed me off last night. I was at work last night. As you guys know, I work at the casino. And probably about 4 or 4:30 this morning, my big boss, he's like, hey, he goes, do you want to go upstairs? Now, when you say upstairs, we have like our main casino floor, but we also have a private room. Actually, there's 2 private rooms up on the 30th floor of the casino, and that's for our VIP, our super, super high roller guys. It's a private room for them. It's like a mini casino for them. And he's like, hey, he goes, do you want to go upstairs? And I didn't know who was up there. I had no idea. And I said, I can if you want me to, for sure. Like there's only a couple people that are allowed to go up there because it's such, because the people that go up to that 30th floor are high-end customers. So they only pick like the select few. I'm like, I can go up there. Yeah, the creme of the creme guys, right? Yeah. Like these guys, if a guy on the 30th floor loses 1 or 2 million, that's an average day. Like that's nothing, right? Because that's how high up they are. So I was like, I can go up there if you want. and he was trying to get this one guy a break, and I said, oh, he just came, I was trying to rearrange the breaks, and he's like, you know what, he's good, don't worry about it. And it didn't occur to me until afterwards, I should have pressed the issue a little bit to go up there, because tonight at our casino, Jerry Seinfeld is performing. So that's who was up on the 30th floor.
Oh,
and
that'd be awesome.
I totally missed the opportunity to go up and deal to Jerry Seinfeld. And I didn't realize it until afterwards, because everybody knew, like, when anytime anybody goes up on the 30th floor, usually like word gets around. Like, usually it's Drake. Like, Drake comes into the casino quite a bit. Sorry, I shouldn't say quite a bit, but occasionally. And he's always up on the 30th floor because he's a high-end player. And he doesn't want people around him, right? So, I mean, I've dealt to Drake a couple times, whatever. But it didn't occur to me that, hey, you know what? Jerry Seinfeld's performing tomorrow night. That's probably who is up on the 30th floor. And I should have pressed the issue, and I could have dealt to freaking Jerry Seinfeld last night. I'm like, son of a bitch.
No,
it's one of the perks. Yeah, it's one of those. It's one of the perks of working in my industry, because I do get to meet occasionally. I get to meet somebody famous.
Yeah.
But I don't get all like, oh my god, it's Jerry Seinfeld. Like, I don't get like that. I try and stay very, as professional as I can. But like I've dealt to guys like Drake and a ton of hockey players, Evander Kane.
Yeah.
A lot of guys from the Buffalo Sabres, a lot of guys from Toronto. Actually, a couple weeks ago, I was dealing. I think I did this on my live stream. I dealt to literally all of the Toronto Maple Leafs.
Oh wow!
Like I went to. There was a special event in Toronto. It was a fundraiser that the Maple Leafs organization was putting on, and all of the players were obviously there. So I got to deal to like Mitch Marner, Austin Matthews, Ty Domi, or not Ty Domi. What the fuck's his kid's name? Max Domi. All these guys, and it was so cool. And I taught Mitch Marner how to spin the ball on roulette, because I was dealing roulette. And he was actually he was really good. Like, for a guy who's never like been a dealer, and it's not as easy as it looks, like when you see it. And he was actually really good. And Mitch Marner's a fantastic human being. He was super nice, and just, I mean, all the guys were. Like William Nylander, super nice guy. John Tavares, the captain of the Toronto Maple Leafs. I don't know if you guys watch hockey at all, but my God, and let me put this out there right away before I make my next statement. I am as straight as a freaking arrow. But that John Tavares guy, man, is he a good-looking man? Holy crap! He came into the venue, and he's wearing this super nice. And I've never seen this guy out of a hockey uniform, right? You watch Maple Leafs every once in a while. And this guy comes in. He's wearing a suit that's probably worth more than my freaking car. And I'm like, holy crap, is that ever a good-looking dude? As straight as I can be. But he is. He's a really sharp-looking man, especially when he's all dressed up. Yeah. So when I came home after the event, and I said to my wife, I'm like, man, I said, I think I might have a little bit of a man crush on fucking John Tavares. And she's like, who's that? I'm like, it's the captain of the Toronto Maple Leafs. So I'm like, go look him up. I said, he's a good-looking guy, right? And she's like, oh, okay. I don't know if she actually looked him up or not, but yeah, all the guys were super nice. Sheldon Keefe, the coach of the Maple Leafs, he was great.
Yeah.
Like I said, every once in a while I get like these perks where I get to meet famous people, which is kind of cool. But I don't get all girly about it for the most. Sorry, that's probably the wrong thing to say. But like, I don't get to like, oh my God, it's John Tavares, like, but I don't. But I was just like, I was sitting there looking like, holy crap, is that ever a good looking guy? Or I give props where they're due. I mean, I'm just an average looking guy. So when somebody's like, and he's a good looking guy. I mean, if anybody, especially women out there like Vanessa, go check out John Tavares from Maple Leafs. Like, but don't like get him in his uniform. Get him like when he's in a suit. The guy he's a good looking guy. Like I started to feel a little inadequate being around him. That's for sure. I'm like, holy crap, look at this friend. I got no shot at any of the women. Not that I did anyway, but But yeah, like I said, all the hockey players that play for Toronto, and I'm sure it's every hockey player because I've met tons of them. Just super, super nice guys. They really are.
Let me see here. I said the last beer I bought was green. Oh yeah, that was the Lansing one. We did that one for Aubrey. The river is always green in Chicago. Real talk, it's always green. Die or no die.
I think that's called algae.
Yeah, or bodies. I'm so psyched to hear about the flavor of dragon, its taste, and Rod loves their stuff. It's interesting, and we were talking about this earlier. I am a hit or miss when it comes to golden ale, which there's a look at the beer. Look at that bubble action. Look at that clarity right there. That's a good looking beer.
Yeah, that looks fantastic.
Bro. I mean, New Holland does a great job. And nose wise, it's grainy, it's grassy, it's bready. I'll have a review upcoming on it at some point too, but it's interesting. Taste wise, texture, it's a little bit of a syrupy type texture to it, but you're also getting, again, grain bread, grass type feel to it. A little bit of a sweetness, but it's not like it's got a smooth velvety touch to it. Like it just lays there. It's not overly done. It's not like anything overly sweet or anything. It's just like a great duration of the flavor. Just lingers, hangs around. You just get it feeling it's still on the lips and everything, and it goes down easy on the back end. I mean, it's a smooth 11%.
Nice.
So you get this, like, and this came in a 4-pack, but you go through 4 of these, you're definitely going to be possibly like, okay, let's call it a day or a night or whatever.
Let's call it a night.
So know your tolerance for sure, but it can sneak up on you.
For sure.
It's almost got like a little bit of I'm trying to think of the right one. I think it's like more of a pear type feel in the taste. It's very similar to like pear. So if you ever eat pears, it's almost got a little bit of a feel like that, as far as maybe some of the fruit feel from the hops or something. But it's got a little bit of a splash. Not saying it's like juicy like an IPA, but it's got a little bit of a splash where it's not a drying type feel to it. So it just lingers nicely around. I mean, if you're a golden ale type fan, you would love this beer, I think, for sure.
Right.
And I don't hate it by any means. Like I said, I'm usually 50-50, like Shane was saying he was too, but it's kind of like this will be over to the good 50 to sit back and enjoy. I can tolerate it and get this down and sit there and enjoy it and, not think twice about it. So the smoothness of it all.
Right. And that's what you want. You want just a nice, smooth, tasty little beer. And like you said, with that little bit of pear in that sounds kind of interesting. Just that.
Yeah, it's kind of like to me, what I pick up is almost like a pearish type feel. Not fully pear, but if I think of any fruit, that's kind of the closest one I come up with close to it.
And that's interesting because you don't get a lot of beers that have like a little bit of a pear accent to it. Even if it's just slight, you don't get a lot of beers that have that pear accent in it. So that's interesting.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah, I mean, and again, it's something where, it was funny. I was watching a video earlier for a little bit when I was working out, and someone said like cat pee, which I get the whole cat pee type thing. You hear that, bro? But I'm like, when people describe beers, and I was going to do a video about this too, like some of the wording we have around craft beer.
Right.
You need to be more identical. Like I don't have cats, so I don't know what cat pee really smells like. But then again, then say pneumonia, right? Rather than cat pee or something like that. It's kind of some of the stuff we have. Like you'll say like something may smell musky. Okay, the musky thing you can kind of get because you think about being in the gym and people are sweating type stuff, right? So that's usually so it's kind of just some of the weird terminology we have that gets described on stuff. Now, I've used horse blanket in the past, but I lived in Kentucky for a number of years, so I know kind of what a horse blanket kind of feel would be like. But even those type of things, it's just some of the funny word terminology. So at some point, I was going to do a video about just some of the things you overhear in craft beer, and you're like, "What the hell are they talking about?" Like,
that's
just like
that. That'd make for a good video, actually. I'm looking forward to that one. Do that for sure, because that'd be super cool, actually.
It's just like someone sitting back, like, how would you even know that? Like, have you drank cat pee? Like, how would you know? Like, I mean, have you like, it's just like there's just some of the weird stuff we come up with, and it's just like, if you're a craft beer guy and you're that much into craft beer, you're like, oh, okay, I get that.
Yeah,
And you're like,
for
how?
sure.
how do you get, if you're somebody from the outside looking in, like, how do you get that? How do you know what the hell that guy is talking about over there? So yeah.
Well, that's like when I did the Budweiser Select 55. I said it tasted like sweaty gym socks. No, I've never chewed on sweaty gym socks before, but I can imagine that's
But you have the
probably what it
imagery.
tastes
That's
like.
where the imagery comes to,
Yeah,
right? Yeah, like you said, like
yeah,
wet
exactly.
cardboard. Like I've never tasted wet cardboard, but I feel like that's what it would be, like type thing.
Yeah,
So,
exactly. Exactly. Yeah. So you can, yeah, I can totally relate to it. And you would need guys that are into like, drinking a variety of beers to like, oh yeah, I get that.
Yeah.
I understand what you mean. I know you've never had it, but yeah, I know exactly what you mean right now. For sure.
Oh, Aubrey says, Shane, or anyone's thought on this, have you tried brewing your own? I know it takes a lot of work, but that's what history has shown us. Rajay has friends that brew 4 kegs at a time. I would love some. Yeah.
Yes, sir. I have brewed before. It is like I said, late winter, early spring here. I don't normally brew in the winter because I my big burner that I obviously use outside. So I never brew during the winter usually, but I do have a couple things that I'm going to be brewing soon. One for the beer viewers get together. I'm going to be doing my most popular, according to all my friends anyway, my most
Yeah.
popular recipe, which is a modified take on the Kona Big Wave Golden Ale.
Oh, okay. Good gold. Yeah, it's golden. Yeah.
It started off as a clone of that, and just over the couple of years, I've tried to evolve it a little bit to make it a little bit tastier. I think I've done a good job on it. Like I've had friends do like, hey, here's a Kona Big Wave. Here is my version of it. Which one do you like better? And I'm like, don't lie. I'm like, if you like the Kona better, tell me.
Yeah.
I don't care. It doesn't matter. And everybody's always said, no, yours is tastier than the Kona. And it's just by adjusting just a couple little things in the brewing process, right? So,
Yeah.
but I will have those available in July. Hopefully Rod makes it up and he can go, hey, you know what? Shane makes a pretty good goddamn beer.
There you
So,
go.
there you
Yeah,
go.
I haven't brewed for a number of years, and actually, when we moved to Maryland, I got rid of all my brewing equipment and stuff too. But I don't have time to brew anymore. Like with work and then doing the channel, this channel plus
It's
the
tough.
reaction channel plus everything else that I'm doing, it just makes it hard to keep up on stuff. So like I
It's
told
tough
like
brewing.
at times, she's like, you got time? Like I don't. I'm like, I'm always planning stuff out. I'm always doing things. And
Right.
Yeah,
It's tough because a brew day, like anybody who brews beer, that a
yeah,
brew day it's hours. Like you're looking at 6-8
yeah,
hours in a day, um, to brew a beer. So that takes up the majority of your day. So it's
yeah,
definitely a little bit of a commitment, and that's why I only brew like 4, maybe 5 times a year at most.
yeah,
But it's nice. There's nothing better than picking up a beer and going, hey, you know what, I made this. And especially if
yeah.
it tastes good, you're like, yeah, and it's just that personal satisfaction of, I can make a good beer too.
Yeah, when I first launched the channel, I was brewing, which was great because I think, and not to say that people have to do that if they're going to kind of do something like this, but I think when you get into the mix and you kind of understand a lot more of that stuff, I think you bring other skill sets to your channel rather than
Sure.
just being a person talking about, oh, I'm drinking this beer today and this is what I get, blah, blah. When you've actually
Right.
brewed beer, you have an appreciation for it and you look for other things that a non-brewing person
Right.
may not know what to look for. So I think it adds a little bit more to
Right.
it. So
Yeah, for
yeah.
sure. Like I said,
Uh,
I don't know. I probably brewed, I want to say somewhere between 25 and 30 different beers. I don't know what the exact number is.
yeah.
And I've only ever had one that was bad.
Yeah.
And the other reason it was bad, I was trying to do a hybrid. I was trying to do a mix between like a Pilsner and an IPA. I'm like, hey, let's just try this out as an experiment. We'll try it out. And I don't know what the hell happened, but it was so carbonated that it was undrinkable.
Oh wow.
Like you like literally when you opened up the bottle, it would just like spray everywhere. And
Yeah.
you would pour it, and even if you let it sit for 10 minutes and you would drink it, all you would get was like air. It was like
Hmm.
wet air. That's what it tasted like, was wet air. And I'm like,
That's a new
where did I
term.
go wrong? Yeah, like
Yeah.
when I brew, I write down. You guys know I always have my freaking, pen and paper.
Yeah.
So I write down everything that I'm doing. Like, okay, this is what I did. This is how much, this I added. Blah 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 blah. And for some reason, it just got so overcarbonated, and I don't know why. Like, because I went back through my notes, and I'm like, it shouldn't be overcarbonated based on, the amount of sugar that I used and blah 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 blah. And yeah, it was terrible. It was awful. Like
Yeah.
it was like it was like drinking wet air.
Well,
That's basically what the beer was.
the thing with brewing, it's a pretty much a living thing, right? So any little thing can throw it off. If anything gets in there, it can affect it or how it's done. So it
Oh,
could be
for
like the
sure.
smallest thing, yeah. But
And like I said,
yeah, I did.
I like to be really methodical, and I know everybody that home brews is probably very methodical,
You need to
especially
be,
about yeah, like I mean, especially about like cleaning and sanitizing, because that's like the two most important things. Like sanitize
hmm
everything, and if you think it's sanitized, sanitize it again.
Yeah.
Because just a little teeny little thing can cause a bacteria and throw everything totally out of whack.
Everything to whack and just kill your
Right. So
bat. Right. Yeah.
I try and be pretty kind of anal, I guess, about it. Um, because I mean, mostly it's just the beers that I brew are just for me and a couple of close friends, kind of thing.
Yeah.
But I want to make sure that I'm producing the best beer that I can, and that is the only one that has ever turned out like it's like I literally took a whole case of it. I make like 2 cases at a time. I make 20 liters,
hmm
and I literally just I ended up pouring it all out. I'm like, I don't even know what went wrong. That's the
Yeah.
worst part. To this day, I still don't know what I did wrong with that brew. So
Yeah. It might have been just like you said, it might have been just something that got into it, but that's the
yeah,
whole
because
thing with brewing. Yeah.
I've never had a beer that was like so like ridiculous overcarbonated. Like it was stupid. It
I
was
mean,
so
usually with
overcarbonated.
carbonated, usually a lot of times I think it's like the sugar levels are higher because that's going to cause the carbonation. But
Well, that's what I thought too. But like I said, I went back through my notes because I'm like I said, I try to be very meticulous because I want to. If you stay consistent with your brews and record everything, you can see like if there is a mistake, you can go back and go, oh shoot, I added an extra ounce or two of sugar to the carbonation where I shouldn't have. But
mm,
I went through. I'm like, and I'm like, I don't know what happened, and I'm still. I still go back every once in a while and I go through in my head and I'm like, what the hell did I do wrong? But I can't find where I did. Obviously, I did something wrong. Maybe I made a
you did,
miscalculation in the weight or something. I don't know.
yeah, I did. I think. I mean, luckily when I brewed, I never had anything really bad. All my batches seemed to come out well for the ones I had done, but it was fun. I mean, if you like cooking, I think you would enjoy making beer and stuff too. Because I used to enjoy cooking. Whenever we cook, usually I cook here, but um, I had one I did one time with habanero and blackberries, and it was so tasty. And it was just like
Oh,
the blackberries cut the
okay.
habanero spice. It was so good. It was just like, yeah. I still have people to ask me about that beer. I had a peanut butter porter I did one time too that people really liked too. It was just like, yeah, I haven't
Nice.
brewed in a while. Now I don't even got the stuff anymore. I don't have the time to do it. But you start
What?
doing things, and it's like you got to start cutting out things. Like you can't do everything, right? So it's kind of
Right.
like, yeah.
Yeah.
But I
And
use it
that's
to
it.
gain the knowledge.
Yeah. And it's like you said, it's time consuming to brew beer.
Yeah, yeah.
Like especially. I mean, I know some guys have a very elaborate setups, like Beer Man. He's got
Oh
a pretty
yeah.
elaborate setup. He's
But
got
he
all
wants to
like
launch a brewery. He wants to launch his brewery, so it makes sense for him to have that because he wants to,
sure.
yeah, launch that as a business. So
Yeah, like most guys start off like I did. You start brewing like extract beers,
yeah,
and then you're like, okay, these all there's something about extract beers that bother me. I can tell an extract beer as soon as I taste it because it's got that little taste to it in the background. And then once
well,
you
for
step up,
some extracts that are in a can too long, you'll get that tinniness coming through too.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
there's a weird taste to the extract. And
yeah.
then when I upgraded, I'm like, you know what? I'm done with this. I need to get to all grain where you can customize stuff more when you start getting into all
hmm
grain. And it's what a difference going to all grain makes.
Yeah.
So if anybody's out there and they're thinking about doing some brewing, don't start with extract. Just go right to all grain and just learn how to do it that way.
Yeah.
Because you're going to be much happier with your finished product. That's for sure.
It's a great little hobby to have for sure. And
Oh, it's fun for sure.
yeah. Let me see here. Big Daddy here, but what about Milwaukee River? So Milwaukee River must be bad too. I looked up John Tavares. He did not inform me. Big Daddy said.
But what was it? A picture of him outside of his uniform? Again, as straight as I can possibly say this. Good looking guy.
Brandon, Todd is sitting in his Hoosier chair rooting for the Hoosiers right now. So he's afraid to move.
Time.
He's afraid to move because they're up and it's a close game. And if he moves, they may lose.
He's just wasting time.
Yeah, important game that he's watching right now.
Yeah.
Oh, appreciate that, Aubrey. Cheers, my friend. I just do what I can. I like to share and have fun and talk beer. I love my passion for beer. Hates Irish Americans, but love the taste of Jim's sweaty socks. Hear about this guest and more on my podcast, Notes from Happy Hour with Rod J and friends. We separate the truth from bullshit. Oh, you rule, Emerson. You rule.
You're awesome.
Friend.
You're awesome, Emerson. Absolutely awesome.
Oh, and then the last beer news item, which really outside of maybe me, and if you happen to be in Maryland, maybe you can enjoy this. It's not in Baltimore. I have to find out where this place is, but Bathe in Beer at Maryland Spa and Ale House. Beer Bath is the first establishment of its kind in the entire country. Beer Bath is the only establishment with an ale house attached. So around the world, there's different spots that have these beer baths, which are supposed to like whatever help the skin or do. I don't know what they're supposed to do. I just know you're in a bath full of beer, but to be there and drink some beer while being in beer, I feel like I have to seek this place out now. So maybe I'll go to Beer Bath and do an on-live video from just relaxing in a bath of beer. Go. Maybe it may be coming soon to the channel if I can find where this place is here in Maryland. But people were showing people going to the ale house, grabbing some beers, coming back to the beer bath, just relaxing and chilling. So, which is kind of funny. I never thought about taking a bath or being in a bath full of beer where it's kind of like to rejuvenate and stuff. I can remember like as a kid, as a kid growing up, you and your friends, at least me and my friends, we would kind of do stuff because we love like Kool-Aid or something like that. Everything. It's like, oh, I would just jump in a pool of Kool-Aid or something like that. Everything. Now as an adult, like I can go into a whole bath full of beer. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Where do I find this place? Like, this is what dreams are made of right here.
and it's funny seriously, like about a week or two ago, I'd come across an article about a beer spa. Basically the same thing. You get to, you sit in a vat of beer or whatever the hell it is, because apparently the hops and the yeast and everything like that is good for your skin.
Right.
And I'm thinking, man, I got to go do that and then one of my friends said, "Oh, would you drink the beer?" I'm like, "No, because I don't know how many guys. I don't know how many guys' balls have been inside that vat. I'm not going to drink that beer. That's not going to happen." I'm like, no, it's not going to happen. But I'll sit in the, I'll go up, neck level and just sit there and like, hey, this is supposed to be good for my skin and rejuvenate me, blah blah blah. Blah, but I ain't drinking it.
Well, I think they're supposed to drain the tub after each person for one. But two, I'm not drinking if I'm the only one in there either. Like, I'm not going to drink.
No, no, absolutely not.
Yeah, no, but you have like a tap next to you or whatever. You just pour your beer while you're sitting there and let it rejuvenate. Like people do the mud baths or whatever like that. Everything you just sitting there rejuvenating in the beer. And I'm like a place for me to go visit. So.
Yeah, like as I was saying earlier, it's an experience, and that's experiences are freaking fantastic. That's for sure.
Yeah, it's like
I would try
spa.
that for sure.
Yeah, so I may have to locate where that is actually. Yeah, Todd said I'm checking in. I'm watching my Hoosiers play. I'll be back on if they're still going. Todd's hanging in there.
You don't have much to worry about Todd, because unlike me, Rod just he runs. He just if people are still talking and commenting, he just runs. He doesn't do the like, hey, it's 10 o'clock. We're shutting this shit down. He's not hardcore like I am. That's for sure.
Yeah. Usually I try at 11, and then it's like I'll have usually Todd or Mal crack open another beer, and I'm like, "What are you still like? Why just open the beer?" So I'm like, "I thought y'all wanted me to end at 11." And Mal's like, "Well, it's only 10 o'clock here." So it's just like,
yeah. Well, if the conversation's good, I can
Yeah.
understand why you keep running through, right? Like I got no problem with that at all, right?
Yeah, and I say Friday's a shorter day for me, but it's only an hour shorter. But as if Fridays never feel as bad as the other days in the week. Have you ever noticed that when you go to work? It's like Friday just your Friday would be like Tuesday or Wednesday because you're off
Wednesday.
Thursday and Friday. Yeah.
Yeah,
So it's like that
correct.
last day of your work week is kind of like it doesn't feel as long as the other days that precede it.
It feels worse. I hate Wednesdays because Wednesday is my Friday. I know I got to get through this 8 hours and I can have my Thursday and Friday night off. I can hang out with Rod J. I can do a bunch of stuff, and it's like, oh my God, just get this day over with. I hate Fridays. I hate them.
Yeah, I would think you wake up with a little bit more pep in your step, ready to go, and because that's just the day before the weekend type thing. Like when I wake up Friday morning, even after doing this on Thursday night, I'm kind of like, I just got to make it to this time, and I'm done. And then it's just like time starts rolling through. I have a few meetings here and there, and it's like, oh, we're into the running of the day now. It's like the running of the bulls. I'm energized. Let's get to it. Let's get to it. Let's go.
Let's go. Let's go. Yeah. Well, I mean, I start off my Wednesdays like that. It's like, okay, let's get through this day. Come on, let's go. We're gonna start the weekend. Let's go. And then I always run into some idiot, as it turns out.
That does happen.
Like,
they are out there for sure. It's kind of like chutes and ladders. You think you're at the end, and then whoop, you're right back down to shoot again.
Yeah, that's right.
No
you get
ladder.
to shoot. Like, God damn it! Like, come on.
You hit chance, go directly to jail. Do not pass go. Do not collect $200.
Exactly.
Seriously.
Exactly what it is.
I had this thing wrapped up, and now I'm going backwards. What was your favorite board game as a kid growing up? Do you have a favorite board game?
My favorite board game?
And people in the chat as well. Let me know what your favorite board game was.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, absolutely. I'd be interested to see. As a kid, I think one of my favorite. I know I played a lot of Life, the game of Life, but the old version. Oh, and the old version, not the newer version, because the newer version is shit. Payday.
You talking about the old version of Life where you put the little pegs in the cars? Yeah, more kids.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
And the old version of Payday. Do you remember that where the board was like a 1 month calendar?
Mm-hmm.
But the new, I do have a newer version of it that we picked up maybe 10 years ago or something like that. And we're playing it with my youngest boy when he was younger, and I'm like, this game's crap now. Like, what the hell is going on? Like, made it, they just changed it to. I mean, from what I remember as a kid, right? And I'm like, what is this? And I guess that's just the natural evolution of a game. You have to update.
Yeah.
Based on whatever's going on.
Yeah.
Which Monopoly is the king of, because you have the original classic Monopoly, but you can also buy like Star Wars Monopoly. You can buy
Breaking Bad Monopolies and all kinds of stuff. Yeah.
And you can even get the if you look at I think I saw it on eBay years ago, the make your own Opoly. So basically it comes with like a sheet, and you can print out the little stickers to put on the board. So you could have, hey, instead of Park Place, it's Rod J's BeerVentures Lane. And that's the and you can just customize your thing to whatever you're doing.
This is pretty cool too, yeah.
And actually, I do have a buddy of mine bought me this 5 years ago. He bought me Beeropoly, and it's actually still sealed, sitting upstairs, and I've never opened it.
That'd be pretty cool.
Yeah, it was kind of a cool little thing, but that's the kind of thing you'd have to play with like beer guys.
Yeah,
really appreciate the like. Hey, I landed on I don't know, Miller Lite Place or whatever the hell. I don't even know what the boards are. I've never opened. Like I said, it's still sealed. So
yeah. Funny thing about Monopoly, which is funny you brought that, because one of the shows we end up talking about at some point here. I'm a big fan of the Built America series on History Channel. So the toys that built America.
Yes, good series.
They did a story about Monopoly. If you know the history of Monopoly, it was literally the opposite of what it actually is now. So a woman had created Monopoly initially to be about the trouble of the downtrodden and all the things that were reflected on them. And then Parker Brothers ended up taking it over and creating it more about being wealthy type thing. So it's kind of funny how that kind of went. It was supposed to be teaching people about economics and the punishment of taxes and all that kind of just got whole switched around and stuff to being I want to be the richest person in the world type thing. So it's kind of a funny little story behind it. But Monopoly was always a fun one to have. Although Monopoly, of all the board games, had the probably most arrangement of different rules people had. Like you had to know what you were getting into when you play Monopoly. Like some people were like, any fines or stuff go in the middle, and if you get like that little car thing or whatever it was, I forgot what's part of the Monopoly board, you got to win all the money. Free parking, you got all the money in the middle, right? Some people had that, some people didn't. The original rules of Monopoly, which I was never aware of, which would have made it a lot easier than before because it took forever to finish the game of Monopoly. If anybody lands on a space and they don't want to buy it, they can go to auction and other people can buy it. We never knew that. We always thought you had to land on the space. So that took forever for people to actually get their rows or that reason. So there's just different things that were kind of all in the whole thing. And it was always a fun type thing. So, but for me, like I think Sorry, I was a fan of Sorry, the game there.
Sorry's good.
That was a pretty cool one. That was a good one to actually play. And then Clue was another one. I was a fan of playing Clue as I was older, playing that one.
Old school Clue, though.
Old school Clue.
Because the new one, again, that's one of those games I picked up, a few years ago, and the new version is terrible.
Yeah.
Terrible.
And as a kid, probably the most aesthetically pleasing setup of a board game ever, although I don't think we ever finished one, was probably the old school Mousetrap.
Oh, that was always fun.
That was always fun to set up and all that kind of stuff. I don't even know if we ever finished the whole game on it, but it was just like you had to set up everything. It was like the whole football thing with the buzzing board and you had the players. I don't know anybody that played a full game on that thing with the players where they kind of maybe moving along type thing. I don't think anybody ever finished a full game, but it was just fun to have for a little bit. Okay, let's go outside type thing. So, but Mousetrap was one that, to set it all up and to play it for a bit was always kind of a neat looking game.
It was a great game. Like I said, that was one of the, and I think I picked up an older version of that, and it was very similar to the old version of it. But yeah, I played it with my boys. It was kind of fun because I think half the fun, it's not even winning the game. It's just like, oh, I landed on this square, so I get to build this piece. Mm-hmm. And then, as the game goes on, you build different pieces of the Mousetrap, and then that's kind of cool. And then hopefully at the end, when you actually get a chance to capture a mouse, you start that first little bit and everything actually works together. And every once in a while it wouldn't, and you're like, okay, I got to, hit the little marble just to get it going, kind of thing.
Yeah, and Trouble was always good too. I liked Trouble. That was another one.
Trouble's good too, yeah.
Yeah.
That was always good. Nowadays, I haven't played it for a little while, but Catan, for more modern kind of.
Oh, I don't know that one. Yeah.
You don't know? Oh my God, Catan is fantastic game. It's kind of like it's kind of like Risk, but not really.
Yeah.
That's probably a bad analogy to say it's like Risk, but it's like a big hex board, and it's such a great game. It's definitely, if you get a chance, pick up Risk or Catan. And there's you can get the main game of Catan, and there's a bunch of expansions you can buy as well. I think there's like 5 or 6 different expansions you can buy.
Yeah.
So great game. It's so much fun. So much fun to play.
And technically it's not a board game, but when you got together, you technically had a board where you map it out like Dungeons and Dragons. So
Dungeons and Dragons.
Technically not a board game, I guess you could say, but you'd have it all mapped out on stuff. So you were kind of using a board, you were rolling the dice and all that kind of stuff. But it was a great imagination game for sure. I remember since that.
Give me one sec. I will be right back.
Okay. Fridays for me never feel as bad. I start drinking in the morning, and most planes can land themselves at that point. Well, there you go. There you go, right? Little autopilot action. Although you say that, it makes you think of the old Airplane movie with Robert Hayes, and he's like, there's a drinking problem, and he's throwing all the drink in his face and stuff because his hand is shaking. Airplane, funny comedy from back in the 70s. Favorite board game, probably Risk. I did like playing a Risk. But my friend Robert and I invented our own football game using Topps trading cards and a pair of dice. Oh, that's interesting. Now it's chess. I play a lot of one move a day games on chess.com. Oh, that's pretty cool. There's I want to say there was like a chess game I saw, I think online or whatever. It's like a 3D type chess game that people play too. Um, I did like playing chess back in the day when I was in let's say ninth grade, 10th grade or whatever in high school. I mean, I was part of the chess club back then. I did used to play chess more often. I was always a fan more of that than like, checkers, something like that, everything. Chess was definitely a good strategy thinking game that was always something to challenge the mind when you played against people. So I need to pick up chess again. I really enjoyed that. And I will say, as this beer actually warms up more, it's getting smoother and smoother. If more golden ales were like this, I could definitely dig them for longer. But that is a nice one. So, Tales of Gold, bourbon barrel aged golden ale. This might be the first barrel aged golden ale I may have even had. Now I think about it. You can't go wrong with New Holland, that's for sure. Let's see here. And I think on the beer news, we got all the beer news items out of the way. So we got that all good. Let's see what else. So I mentioned earlier this week, tomorrow or Saturday, it's looking like it may be Saturday. I'm going to probably do a live stream on my 9-year anniversary and kind of talk about different things there and share some old stuff. Might share some old video clips. It's always funny. Like a lot of people like to go back and see their first videos. I think it's funny to go back and see your first videos to see how much you progressed along the way. Like, because you got to do a self-check at points, but just kind of some of that. And I might share some of the old clips from the old chats. And we've had some characters on this channel over the years. So, I mean, just to see some of them, some of the stuff we used to have before was hilarious. And some of the faces I can share, you'll probably remember from seeing now and just seeing from back then. And again, 9 years on a YouTube channel, which feels
That's
like,
crazy,
I don't even know.
man.
That's like dog years. Like, feels like 9 years in YouTube years is like 50 years or something. So,
Right.
and to see some of the people that I knew that were here when I started that aren't here anymore, that got out of it, or like some of the ones that may have passed, or just different things that happened during the course of time. And it's just like,
Sure.
to think to still keep doing it. And it's like, right now I'm over 2,000 subs or whatever, but I'm like, in my mind, like I know, like Shane always teases me about legendary. Like some people think as to like, I don't consider myself as successful yet because I still got a number that I would want to be at. But
Right.
when you realize like 90% of people don't even get to 1,000 subs on YouTube on their channels,
Right.
obviously there's some success when you get over that number, right? And
Sure.
I was listening to a podcast earlier when I was working out. It was, I don't know if you ever watched like Nick Niminati. He had a guest on there that was talking about their channel, what they had done, and it was really good. Just putting things in perspective. It's kind of like even when you get to a level, like you're always kind of grinding, you're kind of doing stuff, and it's kind of like, like I still hear people like your beer tube. Hey, you do beer tube. There's no money in beer tube. Like there really is.
Yeah,
There is money. There is money in beer tube. It's just you haven't gotten to a point where you've been recognized yet, or found out how you can get to that opportunity. Because there are brand deals and stuff that I've gotten in the past, things that I have done that if I wasn't full time doing my main type stuff, and if I was full time YouTube, I could easily, not say easily, but I could definitely be able to get to a level to try to do some stuff. Now, I wouldn't be to the level what I'm making right now, so I wouldn't want to leave that job for this job. Like, don't quit your day job type thing. But
Right.
there's ways you can actually develop, and it's kind of like, one of the things I was going to talk about on there, like if you're doing this for a period of time and you're trying to figure out what's going on, but you haven't learned anything along the way, then it's not like YouTube. It's basically you not knowing what you need to do still. And that's where
Yes.
you have to basically, I see people that don't do their analytics and they don't look at stuff. They don't know what to actually come up with. And that's why they don't grow sometimes. You got to be able to adapt. Like we were talking about earlier with the breweries. It's all about knowing where you need to be at.
Yeah, exactly. And hey, man, 9 years is a long freaking time to be doing what we do.
Yeah.
Like that's like I'm just coming up on. I think at the end of the month I'm coming up on 4 years. So much like I'm going to do a little 4-year kind of thing. Same kind of deal. Like, hey, this is my first video. Hey, here's some of the shitty things I did. Like when I when you review a beer and you're like, hey, I'm doing this beer. It's called Boxcar. It's a
Right.
juicy IPA. It says it's 36 IBU, and that's what it is. And when I know when I first started personally, and it took me a while to realize this. Like when I was doing my beer reviews, I was doing that. I was like, hey guys, I'm doing this Boxcar Juicy IPA. It's 36 IBU. And it was just all those like those
Right.
ums. And it took me a while to realize that I was doing that all the time.
Yeah.
So what I did is I shot a video and I tried not to think about it. And I did, just my normal beer review. Like, hey guys, I'm doing this beer from Flying Monkeys. And every time I said the word I would have a counter on the side, and it would go ding, ding, ding every time I said the word And I think I had up to like 27 ums in one episode.
Yeah.
And when I went back and watched it, I'm like, okay, you need to control that, because saying all the time is not good. So I put that counter up in my video just to kind of it was like a personal embarrassment. It's like it
Mhm.
wasn't. I mean, it was kind of entertaining for everybody else to watch, but it was more for me to like, hey, dude, you say a lot,
Yeah.
and so that kind of helped me get out of it, because I self-embarrassed myself, I guess. And it kind of I don't do the, hey guys, we're doing this. I don't do that anymore as much.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'm sure I still throw in the occasional or whatever, right?
Yeah. Well, I think that's part of the process. You go back and you learn and you watch, and it's like it was funny. It was one of the things they were talking about in the podcast I mentioned I was watching earlier. Is like they go through the video and they have it edited, but they're like they go back and rewatch it again after they edit it. And they were like talking about how like a lot of YouTubers don't even do that. Like they do it and they think they're good to go, and they go back and like, oh, I missed that or I did do that. Like, are you making sure like you don't want to keep doing it over and over again, obviously, but it's kind of like you've
Right.
done your cut through. Once you've done your cuts through, give it one more look over, and you might surprise yourself on stuff. And these are guys with like hundreds of thousands of followers, and I think Nick's almost like 910 or something, 910,000. And it's
Right.
a matter of just a little thing. It's like a process. And one of the guys that he was interviewing today was just kind of talking about it. It's like he was saying he was a second degree black belt in Taekwondo, but you don't go the first day thinking you're going to be able to go to a tournament, right? Like the first day you take Taekwondo classes, you're not going to the tournament the next day. It takes years to train to get to that level. And like some people jump on YouTube thinking they can do it almost instantly. And like, no, you can't do it that quick. You got to go through the process and work on those type of things. So yeah.
Well, like I said,
but it's all interesting.
Like I said, for me, after 4 years, I'm still learning stuff. And even probably you after 9 years, you probably occasionally still come like, oh, that's cool. Maybe I'll try that. Like it's always a learning process. And if you ever get to the point in no matter what it is you do, whether it be a YouTube channel, your job, or just life in general, and you get to a point where you're like, I don't need to improve because I'm the best there is, you're not. Like there's always room to grow and learn and get better at whatever it is the hell that you're doing. That's for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the thing. You got to stay hungry and you got to still keep driving. And that was one of the points they brought up on her as well. And it's kind of like they were talking about like, some of the other people like, Mr. Beast or some of these other ones that are doing stuff. Think media is like nobody, you don't remember the early videos. You think of them now where they're at. Go back and watch some of the earlier videos where they were like not getting views or not getting thumbs down. And it was like years and years and years of them to develop their talent on what they wanted to do. So I'm thankful just to even be here still after 9 years, because like I said, I love coming on and sharing the passion around beer and the people that support it and watch and turn out for this kind of stuff, which makes it cool. But all the great relationships and stuff like that I made over the years has made it an awesome experience. But I just feel like you're always doing different stuff to try to improve on where you want to try to grow to and stuff like that and everything. So it's kind of like I feel like some people think they get upset because it doesn't come easy. Like it's not going to come easy. Like nothing that's worth gaining ever comes really easy to you. You got to put
Of
work
course.
into it, right? So
Of course.
yeah, but
And
yeah,
it's
9
nice.
years.
It's nice.
Whew.
Yeah, and like I said, it's nice with our beer community because we're all. I find we're all very supportive of each other.
Yeah,
So like, and even not purposely. Like every once in a while, like I'll watch, one of my regular channels I watch, and they'll do like a really good editing job on like their video. And I'm like, holy crap, man, that was awesome.
yeah,
But then I think about it, and I'm like, wow, that might be a little bit better than what I've been doing lately. So then
yeah,
I try and up my game. So it's kind of it's not a competition, but it's just like a personal competition for me.
yeah.
I'm not trying to be better than Rod J. I'm not trying to be better than any other channel that's out there. I just want to be better than me. Like if
And
I can
that's the
elevate
goal.
my
Yeah,
channel, yeah, if I can elevate myself up a little bit, like, hey, let's improve on yourself. And that's kind of
yeah,
the way I look at it. Like I don't want to be, like I said, I don't want to be like Rod J. I,
yeah.
I mean, yes, I do, but no, I don't. You know, you know, like I don't want to do like the same style you do. So if you come up with an
Yeah.
idea, I'm like, oh, that's a brilliant idea. I'm obviously not going to steal it. Like I know Alan
Well,
from.
I mean, even if you did, we all learn from each other, so it's always a borrowing of ideas, so to speak. And one of our friends here, I had a good conversation offline with Brian. We know Brian, so
Yeah, for
on
sure.
some stuff there, and it was a great conversation on some stuff he's driving. He had some great success recently, but
Yep.
YouTube, and he probably talked to you about it too, but YouTube can sometimes bring some drama on things. And I pretty much told him my thoughts on some of the stuff and how it works out and how you can't worry about that kind of things because
Yeah.
people always hate you when they see you being more successful than what they might be doing. And basically,
Right.
you're doing everything you need to do. You're doing the right stuff. And we had a great convo talking about the things that were taking place. And
Sure. Yeah, absolutely.
it sucks that people kind of were giving us some stuff that way, but it was kind of like, hey,
Right.
I'm like, keep pressing, keep doing what you're doing because this is what
Sure.
you do. Those same people that are criticizing you are pissed off because people aren't asking them for something. Well, guess what? They even put the work in. You're putting the work in. So
Right.
keep doing what you're doing there. So,
Right.
and that's what I'm all about. Like me and Mal talk all the time offline on stuff and kind of providing
Yep.
stuff
Sure.
there as they're trying to do things. And it's not an easy type thing. Like people sometimes think you just
No,
pop a video up here and people just start following. Like no, it's
that's not how. Yeah,
especially
that's not how it works.
any type of genre you go into, not just beer, but you go into the beer gaming. If you're going into makeup, if you're going into whatever, a lot of these fields are crowded. So it's like, what
Yes.
makes you stand out? You got to find a thing, and that goes to your thing. You got to be you and be able to tell the story in a way that actually
Right.
makes that happen. And
Sure.
from that, hopefully you grow, you find out what taps into it, and you got to bring you to the game. So
Yes. Yes. Exactly.
yeah,
And as long as
yeah,
you bring yourself into the game, and like I said, I'm constantly learning things all the time just from watching other beer reviewers do stuff. Like like I said, I was gonna say like Alan from One Flight Down. He does this little segment he does called Back at the Beer Fridge
Mhm.
Sunday, which I think is brilliant. So every Sunday he does a beer
I
that's
think I
been
saw
sitting.
that one. That's a good one. Yeah,
Yeah, like it's been sitting in his fridge for a while. He hasn't got to it, whether it's not a style he's fussy on or he forgot about it. And I think that's a brilliant segment that he does every week. And I'm
yeah,
like, wow, I wish I would have thought of that. Now, obviously, I'm not going to use that because that's his idea, that's his thing. I will never do a back of the beer fridge thing. But every once in a
yeah,
while, I might do a hey, this has been sitting in the fridge for a while. But I will never say back of the beer fridge because to me that's his thing. I would never take that away from him. But
yeah.
brilliant idea, and I love that segment. And then when he
Almost like
does his
that, like Macro Monday is another one that pops up too. That's
yeah, I do the macro Mondays every
yeah,
once in a
yeah.
while, you know,
Hmm.
because I don't normally drink a lot of macros, but every once in a while because I know that if I put a macro beer review up on YouTube, it's going to get a lot of hits because we talked about that earlier when Todd was here.
Hmm.
Um, but every once in a while, I'll pick up a macro that I haven't had, or maybe I've had it before and I just haven't never reviewed it. Just to switch it up.
Yeah.
Because every once in a
Yeah.
while, there's a I think Brian the Beer Snob said this the best. He's like, there's a time and a place for every single beer out there. He goes, it's just knowing the time and place for it. So sometimes you just feel like having a beer flavored beer. You feel like having a macro. You
Yeah.
know, it's just
I know
time and place for everything.
it's kind of funny because during my years of doing this and talking with a lot of the breweries and stuff and going to the beer festivals, I think people will be amazed how many of like the craft brewers will kick back with a macro. They don't want to drink a craft beer. They want a nice, easy drinking type
Yeah.
thing after a long
Yeah.
day. And it's like they'll break out like a Pabst or they'll break out a Coors or something like that and just be like, they
Right.
just want something easy, take off a little bit of the edge,
Yeah,
not want to go
exactly.
full IPA type thing. And it's just like, that's just what
Right.
happens. Yeah.
Yeah,
So there's definitely,
yeah, like I said, because sometimes you just want like a beer flavored beer. Like if you want like a like a Coors Light or whatever the hell your macro is, that you like a Molson Canadian.
Mhm.
Like for me, I gravitate towards Canadian because it's readily available. Yingling, if I can get across the border, Yingling, I'll grab a case of that and just pound those back like
Yeah.
there's no tomorrow. Like, it's just a nice, easy drinking beer.
Which you mentioned Yingling, I forgot to say it earlier. So Yingling brought back their Bach after 195 years, or whatever it was.
Right.
Some of my spots have it. So I went to one of the spots that had it, 12-pack. I'm like, oh, I want to try it, but I'm not 12-pack dedicated that I want to try it. I'm
Right.
like,
Yeah, you don't know, right?
I'm like, are you getting any sixes in? Or he's like, well, we don't know yet, but right now they just sent us to 12, but hopefully we will type thing. I'm like, because they had a row of them. I'm like, ooh, I probably could do it. One, I don't have the room for a 12-pack right now in the fridge, but
Right.
I'm not 12-pack dedicated yet, but I'm trying to find that. So I got a couple spots around town that do have the Bach in, so I'm kind of interested to see how that
Nice.
turned out for him. But it wasn't a bad. It was like a 12-pack, and I think it was like, let's say like $11.99 or something like that and everything. So it wasn't a bad
What?
price for
Oh
it.
my
I just didn't have the
God.
room for it.
Oh, it kills me every time you American guys say, "Hey, I got a 12-pack for $12," or $15. I'm looking at like $30 for a 12-pack up here. It's freaking killing me. Killing me, I swear to God.
Mine was more a space issue than a price issue.
Right, yeah.
Big Daddy said, if John Tavares sat in that beer tub, you drink the wood of shame.
No, I still would not. Again, in the straightest way I could possibly say, really good looking guy, but I don't go that way.
The man crush only goes so far.
Yeah, that's right. It only goes so far. That's for sure.
Chess.com free is a lot of ways to play for a live Blitz game. Oh, okay. I'll have to check out chess.com then. I like to get back into playing some chess. Yeah. I got it.
Yeah.
One of the games on PlayStation, on the PlayStation Plus, but I haven't played it yet. But I got a chess game on there too. So, don't you have PlayStation?
I do. Yeah, we
should connect. Yeah.
I enjoy chess. Like I taught both my boys how to play chess.
Yeah.
My oldest boy has only ever beaten me one time in chess.
Yeah.
Now my youngest boy, I don't know where he frickin' learned to play so well. When we went down to Cuba last May, they got one of those big outdoor, big chess sets, the ones I'm talking about with the big pieces that are like 3 feet tall. I played several games with him, and he beat me every single game that we played. And I think we played probably 6 games. I'm like, how did you get so good at this game? Like, I don't, you don't realize that he learns this stuff off the grid kind of thing. I think it was basically like, Dad keeps beating me, I'm going to learn how to beat him, and I kind of put that little burr under his ass, and I can't beat him anymore. not that I'm a spectacular chess player, because I'm not.
Right.
I mean, I'm decent, but I could not beat this kid at all, and it blew my mind. And it's one of those like sad moments, because you're like, wow, this young punk kid just beat me, but it's also like a proud father moment, like, yeah, my boy did that, kind of thing. So it was
So what's it like to go to Cuba from there? Because
you can't go.
We can't go. We have to go to Canada and have to fly from down there. I don't even know how they would treat that, but we'd have to get into Canada to fly to Cuba.
Right.
But I don't even know if they were like, if they did our passports, that would be an issue or not. But I'm just curious, like, you guys can just go with no problem, right? Like it's just go to
Yeah.
hey, we want to go to Cuba for the week, and you just go ahead and make your reservations, all that kind of stuff. So
Yeah, it's okay.
yeah,
Cuba's okay. The beaches in Cuba are spectacular. They
yeah.
have some amazing beaches. Um, a lot of people complain about the food down there being very bland and just not.
Mhm.
The food down there is different. I'll say that much. It is different. Um, but I'm not a very picky eater, so I'll just
Mhm.
like and it's not the best thing I've ever had, but I'm gonna eat it, kind of thing.
Yeah.
I'm one of those kind of people. Um, Now I know a lot of people. Actually, we met a couple people down there that brought their own like ketchup and mustard and salt and pepper because those aren't things that are.
Really?
Yeah, because I mean you can't get that kind of thing in Cuba.
Oh
Like
wow. Okay.
there's one store we went to and they had these bottles of ketchup, but it was like the clear plastic, and it wasn't like red like a Heinz ketchup. It was like a medium brown color,
Mm.
and that was like their ketchup. And I'm like, oh my god, like how do you guys, what is this?
It's
But
like
yeah,
steak
most people,
sauce. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. I just looked at it and I'm like, I don't even want to buy this if this is what they think ketchup is, you know.
Yeah.
But it's a very very poor country. I
Yeah.
will say that. Like having we did a couple little tours while we were down there. Like we did like a sugarcane factory tour and a rum factory tour, and we actually the bus drove through um, a couple of the little towns, and I'm like, holy crap! Like you again living in a first world country.
Mhm.
I was like, wow, this looks like a freaking war zone. Like it's just all like just crappy looking. Like from what I'm used to.
Yeah.
Um, like just crappy rundown buildings like everywhere, and
Yeah.
just like but I was like I was always told that Cuba was a very poor country, but the way that people dressed down there was kind of shocking to me because they were wearing like modern kind of clothes and like name
Yeah.
brand clothes, but the cars down there are hilarious. Like if you get a cab in Cuba, it's always some car from like 1950.
That's what I'm
Like
saying. It's like the 50s vehicles or something,
yeah,
right?
like
Like,
all
yeah.
the cabs are like you'll get like you'll jump into like a '56 Chevy, and that's the
Yeah.
cab, or like an old Ford Fairlane or something like that. And it's
Yeah.
a, it's it's a cool experience, but it's just like yeah, that's just what all the cars are down there. They're just old like 1950s, 1960s cars,
Yeah.
which is kind of neat.
Well, it's like when we went to Dominican Republic and we went to Jamaica, it was kind of that way. Like, you almost forget you're in a third world country because, like, you go into the resort or whatever, like, you get off the airplane and then you got to take the shuttle to the resort, and
Right.
you're like driving through parts, and you're like, where are we at right now? Like,
Yes.
you're like, and then you get to the resort and everything's all fine and dandy, but it's like, yeah, you came through a third world country basically to get to that resort type thing. It's
Right.
like, yeah,
Yeah.
it's kind of crazy. Then you like kind of that. I call it like a first world type guilt that you have from being down there, like, and
Yes. Exactly.
it's like, yeah. But then when those pina coladas start rolling, you're like, okay, well, I'm good now. So,
Yeah. Exactly. And it's funny because I've been to Dominican and Cuba. Now, when I went to Cuba in this past May, I was looking for a pina colada because that's
yeah.
kind of the drink, and they did not have pina coladas because
Huh.
whatever I don't know what there was something they were missing, like whatever ingredient they needed was not
Okay.
available. So the only thing I could get was I could get a mojito, I could get a daiquiri, like a real daiquiri, or like a Cristal, because
Ah,
that's the only beer
okay.
that they had down there on tap was Cristal, which isn't a bad beer. I mean, it's a nice hot weather beer. It's a pill, you just pound it down and
Okay.
off you go. So it's nice to see Todd's back. Is the game over already? It can't be.
It is. Y'all
Yeah.
still going strong, I see.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah. So you guys won. They pulled it out.
On the last second shot.
As
Well,
long as they pull it out.
it was
Yeah.
That's
tied
right.
up.
Doesn't matter.
Got the ball, got the rebound, and put it in as time expired. So yeah, it was ugly, but a win's a win.
Yeah,
That's
you
all right.
move like you said, you move on to the next one, right?
That's right.
So
Not how, but how many?
That's it. So what's our celebration beer then, Todd? What are you drinking now?
Oh no, I gotta grab one. I'm gonna jump
Wait
on.
a minute. Are you grabbing another beer?
Do what?
Are you grabbing another beer right now?
I don't know. I didn't know how long you guys were gonna stay on. I mean, I will.
I mean, it's like 11:30 right now almost.
I know.
So
no, probably not.
I mean, if you want to grab one and celebrate, I'm going to probably.
In all fairness, Todd, I have a beer sitting here unopened, ready to go. So go grab one.
I mean, I could probably push it for another 15 or 20 because I got to just close it off for the podcast, so it's not too long. But no,
right.
I mean, yeah, if you want to grab one, go ahead. I mean, I can grab another one here. I just want to make sure.
Okay.
I would say
grab one, Todd. I've got one
11,
sitting here
by 11:45, so 20 minutes, so we can knock some beers down.
Plenty of time. Plenty of time.
So while he's grabbing that, I'm going to go into. This is going to kill me to drink this, but because it's the Legend Rod J's channel, I got no problem drinking this. This is my last can of my absolutely favorite pumpkin beer from Flying Monkeys, the Theater of Madness. Like I said, Flying Monkeys, 6% alcohol by volume. I buy this by the case in the fall because it's, as a pumpkin beer, this is my favorite pumpkin beer. This is one of only two beers in 600 and some odd episodes that I've ever done. One of two beers that has gotten a 5 out of 5 on my channel.
Ooh, there you go. That's pretty high ranking. Well, let me grab an IPA. You talk about that beer. I'm gonna grab an IPA.
Yeah, absolutely. Like I said, guys, Theater of Madness from Flying Monkeys, up here in Barrie, Ontario, Canada. 6% alcohol by volume. Fantastic beer. Flying Monkeys. If you get a Flying Monkeys beer, guys, just pick it up. If you see it, pick it up. I have never had a bad beer from Flying Monkeys. Again, this is my favorite pumpkin beer from them. You're getting that nice little malty and that nutmeg, cinnamon, allspice, that typical kind of pumpkin ale that you would like. Now, having said that, this is not a pumpkin ale, which is really unique about this beer. This is actually a pumpkin lager, which you don't normally find. You don't normally find a pumpkin lager. Usually it's pumpkin ales, but this is actually a pumpkin lager. So I'm going to give them a quick little taste here, guys. Cheers.
Cheers.
Really
Shane's
smooth.
getting me drunk. Go ahead.
Yeah, that's it. That's my job, man. So
Really
it's really smooth. It's really smooth. It's got that night. You get, like I said, you're getting all that pumpkin flavor, the nutmeg, the cinnamon, the allspice, but none of the spices are overpowering. Which sometimes I find in a lot of the pumpkin beers, you'll get like too much nutmeg or too much cinnamon or too much allspice. This is all balanced really well in here. It is easy to drink. You can sit and pound a bunch of these. Like I said, it's a pumpkin lager, not an ale. But super, super nice. It looks really dark on the camera. Where's my other phone?
Kind of goldenish, sort of.
Yeah, I'm gonna grab my other phone here and I'm gonna put a light behind it here. Yeah, so it's not actually as dark as it looks on camera.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, it's a lot lighter. But absolutely fantastic little beer. Obviously, it only comes out in the fall. I wish they would make this all the time, because like literally, I buy.
We don't need pumpkin all the time, Shane. I'm just saying.
This beer is so like as a pumpkin beer.
Would you really appreciate it if you had it all the time? See, that's the whole thing about seasonal, because you appreciate it a lot more when you get it then.
I probably wouldn't. You're right, because I always look forward to that fall. Like, but before this beer even comes out, like I pre-order a case of this before it even comes out, and I pay for it ahead of time. And then as soon as it comes out, they send me an email like, "Hey, your order's ready to pick up," and I go pick up my case of it, and then I usually pick up a bunch during that fall season as well while I can. Super, super great beer. I really, really like this. Like I said, as a pumpkin beer, and only as a pumpkin beer, not as a beer in general. As a pumpkin beer, this gets a 5 out of 5 from me. Like, it is spectacular as a pumpkin beer.
There you go.
Yeah, it's pretty solid. 5 out of 5 for a pumpkin beer.
Yeah.
You've
had a couple
as a pumpkin beer.
Tonight. But as a regular, I mean, as a regular beer, the appeal to you, is it still a 5 out of 5? Like, as a beer for you to sit back and enjoy.
Yeah, like if I was to rate this as an overall beer, I'd probably give it like a 4.5. It is
Okay.
still a really solid beer, but the only reason I give it the 5 out of 5 is because as a pumpkin beer, this is
For the
to me,
style is top
yeah,
notch.
to
Yeah.
to me it is the best pumpkin beer that I've personally ever had. Now, I'm not saying that there's not better pumpkin beers out there. I just have not been able to enjoy them yet, obviously. But out of the all the pumpkin beers I've had, this is definitely the best one that I've ever had.
You have to catch up with Joe and the beer patrol when he does his pumpkin week. He's like you. He's a pumpkin fiend. He does a bunch of pumpkin
Love it.
beers. So
Yeah.
I do love them. Yeah.
yeah. I don't hate them. I just don't desire them.
I gotta send you. I'll send you down one of these in the fall when they come back out again, Rod. I'll send you down a couple of these. Like you'll be like, hey, goddamn, this is a good beer.
Don't forget about this way.
I'll send you what. Like I said, Todd, get a hold of me. Like send me an email and stuff. We'll figure it out. I have no problem. I got no problem sending down beers to anybody.
Have you done the Southern Tier Pumpkin and Warlock? Have you done their beers? Warlock is a pumpkin stout, and then the ale is pumpkin.
Surely you have. They're New York, so you should.
I think I've done the pumpkin before.
Okay.
Or I've at least tried it. I don't know if I've ever. I must have reviewed it. Yeah, I've definitely tried that one, but the other one, the Southern Tier one, I don't think I've had that one.
See, the Warlock I like. The Warlock's a stout version, and it's got like a pumpkin pie crust feel to it. I like it better than the pumpkin. So
I was going to ask you, Rod, which one do you like better? I like Warlock better also.
Yeah. And Dogfish Head's their pumpkin ale is pretty good. Yeah. We could get you the
I think I've had that one too. I think I've had the Dogfish Head pumpkin for some reason. I don't know why.
That one's like 18% or something.
I don't think that one is that one. I think you're thinking of the Avery pumpkin.
Oh yeah, man, yeah.
That's the Rumpkin, the 18%. Yeah, you need to get some of that. Yeah,
that's what I was thinking of.
Yeah.
I mean, all their beers are super high.
Yeah, you get those gold tin foil wrappers. Yeah,
for the most part, yeah,
for sure.
But
so hey,
okay.
Sorry, go ahead, Todd. No, go ahead, Todd. Do your beer.
I know if you got one.
Oh, I got the Ride the Dragon microphone collaboration with Pier, which I'm not really familiar with Pier, but.
Did you say dragon? It's not dragon's milk, but. Oh, the magic.
It's warrant. They warrant that.
You gotta have the dragon in there. Gotta have it.
So this is trying to find the ABV on these sometime. That's only 7.75, which you
that's a
hardly
baby
see,
there.
like 0.75. Yeah. How often do you ever see that?
Not like 6.66 on the devil beer that we talked about earlier. Yeah.
I've had this one. I mean, this is the last of the 4-pack that I got, and it's actually kind of old. It's kind of one of those that's been shuffled back in the fridge for a while. Actually bought it when we went to Illinois last fall. So.
Colorado State beat Nevada tonight. Oh, let's see the poll. I haven't taken the poll in a bit. So, wow, Guinness Draft 69%.
I would say it's
the
still
Murphy's at 31. Although Beardy should have been on the Murphy's thing. He said he messed up, so might be a little bit 65-35, but still Guinness has a slight lead there.
I'm wondering if of the voters, how many people actually had a Murphy's?
Good question.
That's a better question.
Yeah,
because I mean Guinness you can get pretty much at any restaurant, especially here. I don't know about up there, Shane, but here.
You can get it everywhere up here for sure.
Okay,
yeah.
Same here. It's like going to any restaurant basically is Guinness.
Yeah.
Well, I know from the overseas guys, except for Adam for Mercy, I think they all pretty much did Murphy's for their choices. So Adam was the one offset.
Besides Vanessa, I would say I bet a lot of people probably actually haven't had Murphy's.
Yeah. I like Murphy's though. I did a Murphy's review years ago. So yeah.
I mean, I
think
chose Murphy's. I would take that over the Guinness for sure.
I mean, if I do get out, God, well, if I do an anniversary live stream this weekend, I gotta go out and get another one, do a quick Guinness Murphy's live stream too. So I'd have to find Guinness and Murphy's.
That'd be
No,
perfect.
just
Yeah.
regular. If you're going, foreign stout, extra foreign stout, whatever.
Oh no, I would just do the Guinness draft versus the
No,
Murphy's one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, as far as like those go, like I would take
Yeah.
that one over the Murphy's.
Oh, Ford
for
Extra
sure.
Stout would beat any of them hands down. Ford Extra Stout. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's my favorite Guinness beer of any of them.
I said the only problem I have with Guinness like is it's so thin and just not, and that's why I picked the Murphys in the poll. It's a little too thin for me, and I like I said, there's so many more better stouts out there than Guinness. Yeah, don't unsubscribe from my channel. It's just my opinion, okay? But there's so many better stouts than Guinness. But I think that's just, I mean, Guinness is the big, like when you say stout, the first thing that popped up.
It was
Guinness.
it was a different time when they came out with it versus what we see now and other opportunities that we have with other beers. But yeah,
I was gonna say in today's standard, I would almost.
It's kind of like I'll do like
more so than a stout, really. Like
it's like if you're like for me, I like brown ales. And I know people that will say like they hate Newcastle, like brown ale. Well, like Newcastle set the standard for us to even have brown ales. Like when Newcastle hit the American market, it opened up brown ales for other breweries to actually do that style.
Yeah.
So now it's just a moment at the time where our brown ales versus theirs are so much different, and we actually enjoy those. But you can't get rid of the importance of the Newcastle brown ale and where it stood for. It was a different type make at that time. So Guinness is kind of that same way.
I still use that in beer cheese. I'll still use that one in beer cheese.
Newcastle? Yeah.
Yeah.
Even though Lagunitas is the brewer from Newcastle Brown Ale now, too. So they took over a couple years ago being their brewer. Yeah.
Like I said, I don't hate Guinness, but like, if we're out at a bar and Rod's like, hey, I'm going to buy the next round and it's a Guinness, I'm going to drink it. I'll be happy. I'm not going to complain. But is it something I'm going to purchase myself? Probably not.
Yeah, you're not going to seek to go get it or whatever.
Yeah, like I say, it's not bad. I will drink it. It's not terrible, but I'm not going to go out of my way to get one myself. That's for sure.
Yeah, if we're out in a bar, if I'm ordering Guinness, then there should be Bailey's right behind it because we're doing car bombs. I'm just saying.
Right. Here's the funny thing. If we're at a bar and Rod buys me a Guinness, I'm gonna like, what did I say? Did I say something wrong on your live stream? Like, why are you doing this? Why didn't you get me an IPA?
He doesn't like you, Shane. He just doesn't like you.
Yeah. It's like Christ.
Like you talk about IPA, like beer in Baltimore at the Open Gate Brewery, they have an IPA from Guinness, which is actually pretty tasty. But you would never see that. Like you don't see that in the marketplace because they only do it like on draft here, or you can take out for the brewery.
That was probably our least favorite brewery when we were in Chicago last year. Was Guinness.
Oh, so you went to Guinness when you were up there, and
yeah.
I
just felt like, I don't know, it was just too like big. I mean, it was super nice.
Yeah.
And like they really weren't done with the outside of it yet, which the outside didn't really matter because we were on the inside. But it was nice, but it was just like, And the offerings were just okay. Like, I can get most of this stuff at the liquor store. Like, I don't, serve me something that I can't get,
Well, did they not have when you were there? Because they were setting up special beers for Chicago market. I know. Did they not have anything like was kind of unique or anything?
Not that I can remember. I mean, to be honest with you, I only feel like they had like 6 of their own beers on tap.
Maybe because it was so new then. Because here in Baltimore, they have some stuff where you can't get in other places.
Yeah, it very well could be. But I feel like everything looked at was like, no, there wasn't nothing that like stood out like, I need to get this because I can't get it nowhere else. And maybe they did. And it just wasn't appealing at the time. I don't know, but
when were you up in Chicago last year, Todd?
It was let's see. Hang on.
It obviously wasn't in July when the Beer Tubers
No,
get
no,
together was going
it
on.
was, I want to say.
Yeah, no, because they caught up with
Was it
Malinchu when they were
October?
there.
I think it was October. Because I think there are a lot of
Oh, so that was
breweries
really
right
late.
after Oktoberfest.
Yeah.
I think I got pictures and stuff because we met up with JT and Liz while we were up there, and yeah, October.
You saw Malinchu when you were up there too, right? Or was it just Liz and JT?
No, they were working, and
Ah,
we really didn't have time to go out to see them. We was going to, but we ended up not having time to do it. So
Well, like I said, Todd, you're more than welcome to come up here in July.
when is that one again?
That's the hang on, let me check my calendar really quick here. It's the second weekend of July, which is June, July. So like the 12th to the 15th of July.
July 12th through the 15th. All right.
Yeah, 15th is the Monday. Like that's our checkout day. So I just always include that in there.
So is everybody staying hotels? Got bed or Airbnb?
No, I have a huge Airbnb. It's huge.
Okay.
It's massive.
huge,
It used to be an old.
Huge.
It used to be an old bank.
Huge.
It's a Friday.
It was an old.
Friday through Monday is what it is.
Yeah, so basically everybody has to check out on
Okay.
Monday because that's our checkout day is Monday.
Okay.
But yeah, so Friday till Monday morning basically.
We might have to do that because that's probably. How far would you say that it is, Rod, from here? I mean, obviously, when you in Cincinnati.
Well, from where you're at, going to if you're coming up, probably
10
through
hours?
PA in New York.
For 12 hours? Would it be that far?
I think it's less than that. I think PA to New York, coming up through Indiana.
8 hours, maybe?
I would say 8 hours, 8 or 9 hours,
Okay.
maybe from
That's
where you're
doable.
at there.
Where are
'Cause
you,
I'm
Todd?
thinking-
Cincinnati, Todd, right?
No, I'm in
Like Louisville,
We're
kind
right
of
across the
Indiana
river
side. Yeah.
We're right across the
All right.
river from Louisville.
Oh, okay. Hang on. Let me. I'm gonna bring up my map here, and I'll tell you
Mhm.
exactly how long it's gonna be.
I think for me from here is like 5.5 or 6, I believe.
My maps.
I mean, to make it easier on each end, you could do like Louisville, Kentucky to there. That's a big
Yeah.
city for
Right.
the biggest city near
Okay,
us.
so let's go. Oh God, I can't even spell Louisville.
It's Louisville.
Yeah, Louisville.
Don't say that. You're gonna get your head chopped off.
Louisville. I can't say it properly. So, so according to my Google Maps, if you were to drive from Louisville to where I live, 8.5 hours.
Okay,
Yeah, that's right about there.
That's just
Yeah.
going speed limit, so it's gonna be less than that for sure.
Right.
Yeah.
But there is always the option. I tell everybody this: if because 8.5 hours, you'd have to weigh it out. If you can get a flight from Louisville to Buffalo, New York, because I can get to Buffalo in 30 minutes from my house.
Yeah.
Mm.
So if you want to fly to make it quicker,
That's
I'm like I said between me, my Ray and myself. That on the Friday, that's probably what we're going to be doing. We're going to be like just kind of passing back and forth, picking up people at the airport.
Any shuttle service, yeah.
Yeah. So if you want to fly in, Todd, that's perfectly fine.
Yes, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
if you don't want to do the drive, so yeah.
We have we have passports, so we can go across the border. For
Perfect.
Sure.
There you go.
While we're there, I'd like to for sure see like Niagara or whatever on the Canadian side, because that's what everybody always says. Canadian side of Niagara is always the best.
They're probably cleaner. Yeah. They don't litter as much as we do.
Well, no, it's actually a better. There's actually two reasons you want to come to Canada. If you're going to the Falls, I don't care where you're coming from, and if you're coming to the Beer Brewers Convention or just in general, if you're going to Niagara Falls, there's two reasons why you want to come to the Canadian side. One, the view of the falls is way better.
Yeah.
Because I've experienced both sides, and the Canadian side is way better. You can see more. It's a better view. And two, it's just like the touristy kind of things in Canada as opposed to the US side. Like on the Canadian side, there's a bunch of like wax museums and there's like go-kart tracks and there's so many there's so much
Yeah.
touristy things to do on the Canadian side. Whereas on the American side, there's really nothing. It's like,
Yeah.
hey, here's the falls, go look at it, and hey, we have a casino.
So like
You know.
everything else,
Yeah.
there's really nothing here, but you know.
Yeah,
Nothing to see. Move along. Move along.
yeah,
You know,
exactly.
it's funny because you mentioned that with everything, and in my mind, I don't know why, but you ever see that show, An Idiot Abroad? Back when Ricky Gervais used to do that with Carl, and he would travel around
I-
different parts of the
I
world and see
I
stuff.
think I've seen that. Yes.
And it's like
Yeah.
he's like, you went to the Great Wall of China, and he's like, I don't see what the big deal is. You just go down and walk around, like you're like he said that. It's like
Right.
I can just see me at Niagara Falls, like I don't see what it's just water going downhill. I don't get
Bunch
what
of
the big
water,
deal
yeah.
is.
Well,
Yeah.
Bunch of water, what difference?
But-
Yeah.
But that's what the locals say. Like for me, you know, I just say like, oh, it's just water falling off of a cliff. But every once, like, I don't go to like actually look at the Niagara Falls very often because
Yeah.
it's down the street basically.
Yeah.
But every once in a while, I'll go there, and I kind of like I get it. Like I get why people come here. Like it's
Like a
pretty
peaceful
awesome.
experience and everything, and
Yeah, like it's pretty awesome. But again, being local, I mean, if you lived out like west in like British Columbia, like for Canadian, and you know, there's mountains everywhere. You just
Yeah.
kind of like, oh, it's like some rocks, like they're really high in the ground. But people who come from a place where there's no mountains, like me, like I've
Yeah.
never actually seen like a real huge mountain. But I want to go out west sometime and actually and I'd be like, oh my God, look at this. It's so beautiful. And the local guys are like, yeah, it's some really tall rocks.
It's
You
kind
know?
It's kind of the same way here. Is like I'm literally 15 minutes from Churchill Downs, and everybody's like, "Oh, how's the Kentucky Derby?" I'm like, "Never been, don't know, can't tell you."
Yeah,
Don't
exactly,
go get
right?
all that nonsense. Like I've been to Churchill a bazillion times. I'm not going down there for that. Like pay 10 times the amount of everything that you can get on a normal, you know, event.
Yeah.
And the same with
Right.
like the Indy 500. It's like hour and a half from there. Never been, nor do I care to
Yeah.
go. Yeah.
Which is like
Two of the biggest
Wait.
races, both of their things or whatever, and I've never been to either one of them. I'm less than 2 hours from both. So it's like,
funny for me now, like being in Maryland is like I should have went to Kentucky. I mean, all the time I could have went to the Kentucky Derby, I never went. I'm like, I probably should have went at one point or another. It
and
was,
they got
you know,
Jericho there, so
yeah. Now I can go to I can go here to the other race, but it's like growing up in New Jersey, you know, before 9/11 happened, it was like never really wanted to go to World Trade Center. We've been in New York many times, always up there, but never went there. And then like 9/11 happened, it's like you missed out on the experience you could actually
should have
went
Right.
to, right? So it's kind of like we were talking tonight all about experiences and stuff, and it's kind of like maybe take advantage of these experiences when you have them because you never know when you won't have
right.
them anymore.
That's true.
That's right.
Yeah.
You have to.
Yeah.
Like I said, and again, I said, I think that comes with age. Like we
Yeah.
start getting into, you know, like the ages, you know, the three of us are, and you start realizing that experiencing things is more important than like a physical thing.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, hey, I could go buy this new, you know, the top end, you know, HD TV. It's 125K or whatever the frick they got up now to nowadays.
Yeah.
But just to have that experience of visiting someplace or, you know, just experiencing anything, to me personally, that's more important.
Well, it's like when I was years ago in Cincinnati, I got tickets. Me and my buddy went to the Indy 500. I'm not huge in auto racing. I watch it here and there and stuff like that. But to actually be at the Indy 500, and we were actually had great seats on the box line right before the finish line. And to
Nice.
see these cars coming by four
wow.
across
Yeah.
as small as they are, and like any little bump, like they can easily just get like
Just go
destroyed.
flying. Yeah.
It was just
Oh, yeah.
like
For sure.
it was an awesome experience. Like, and I can still remember that clear today from being there. And it was kind of like it was just the experience of actually being there. And one of those things you can like say, check it off your list, you actually done or you did or whatever you want to. It's just, and it was kind of those things you could take for granted, right? Like that, but it's kind of like it's an awesome experience, and there's so many other experiences that are out there that you may be missing out on one that you never take time to actually do because you're so busy caught up in the rat race for everything else. So,
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So,
Like I
Rod,
said,
are you going up for the beer fest thing?
Fred said, "What's up, Todd? Cheers, brother."
What's up, Trey?
Right now, I'm looking at it. I'm hoping to maybe try to do that. I'm trying to see. Janice is actually on board with trying to go to Niagara. She's never been to Niagara, so she's on board with trying to go up
bring
there
her
and
up.
stuff. The thing I'm running into is I've also in August might be at the Barrel and Flow Fest. So I'm trying to coordinate stuff right now because that's in Pittsburgh, like that week of August 11th or whatever. So I'm trying to see can I pull that off and then pull up this. I was already debating going to Vegas next month for the craft beer award ceremony. Like that's where Mal and Shu are going down. I don't know if I'm going to be able to pull that off, be able to go down there. I'm just like trying to get stuff in order. So I got to talk with her to kind of see where we're at because we still got to plan our vacation to do something, which we'll probably do in April, trying to figure out where to go to. But kind of thinking maybe try to go coastal like Charleston or something like that and everything. She wants to go she likes going to beaches and stuff. And I'm like, I really don't feel like going down to Florida, but if I can go somewhere like the Carolinas, that's an easy drive for me to kind of shoot down there, possibly instead of flying somewhere, but we'll see.
So
but
Shane,
Niagara's on the radar.
Is that actually like Saturday, Sunday, or is it like a Friday through Sunday? Everybody leaves on Monday. What's the deal going on for that?
Yeah, more or less. Yeah, for sure. Like I have one or two guys that might be coming in on the Thursday, and just staying at my house. But yeah, so it's basically Friday to Monday. Yeah. So like I said, get a hold of me on Instagram or my email, Todd.
Yeah.
We'll hook up some stuff. Rod, I just wrote down a message on my pad here. I'm gonna message you about something, and hopefully that will entice you to come.
Okay.
Because
tell Shannon, Todd. Shane uses the pad, so she cannot feel embarrassed about using the pad. Shane always writes.
Oh no, I got it right here. It's right here. I write shit down all the time.
We tell her to get a notebook. She feels like I don't want to get a notebook.
We got like here. So.
Yeah. It's funny. Like you can tell how old you are. So my youngest boy, he just recently went to New York City. He was on a school trip for his music program that he's on. So he left on Saturday, and he just came back yesterday. But so a couple of days before that, they had an orientation for the parents. So all the parents came with the kids, and the teachers talking about, like when we're going to land, what the flight number is, blah, 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 all that shit. So me, old school, of course, I have my notepad. And everybody else is sitting there you can see them putting in stuff on their phone. And I'm the only asshole with a freaking big pad of paper writing stuff down, right? But I'm more comfortable with just like writing stuff down on paper.
Oh, for sure. I mean, it's still like reliable, so
Yeah.
Yeah, because this will never, like, if your phone I don't know, has a big critical meltdown or something, paper never has a critical meltdown.
You're right. Right. Unless you run out of ink.
Yeah, exactly. So like I said, I'm sitting there with my freaking pad of paper and a pen, and I'm writing down all the, flight information and stuff like that. And I'm looking at all the other parents, most of the parents are a little bit younger than I am. And they're all like, putting stuff in their phone. And I'm like, God, I feel so old right now. Like, you have no idea how old I feel, because I'm the only one in the entire room with a freaking pad of paper and a pen.
Look at that guy.
That's funny.
Yeah, and that's probably what they're saying. Like, oh, don't you have a phone, dude? Like, yeah, I've got a phone. It's right freaking here.
Dee Dee said the old spiral. What are you doing up, Dee Dee? Don't you got a golf tee time in the morning? You got a tee time in the morning, don't you?
Tee off in like 4 hours.
Yeah.
Yeah, no doubt.
But I'm going to go ahead and sign off here. We can still talk after I sign off, but
yeah.
I gotta cut it down for the podcast to be released and everything like that. But for those of you watching, stay tuned. It'll probably be Saturday, but I'm going to do like a 9-year anniversary live stream. I got to look at some stuff and get it set up. Probably be like Saturday night or whatever that I'll do that. And then might share some of the old footage on some of the old stuff we used to do back in the day. First look at some of the early videos, just kind of a little reminiscent type thing. But thank you all for all the support over the years. But Maybe if I can find that Tom and Jay stuff, I'll run that too. 'Cause that was funny. That was hilarious back in the
That might
day.
get you kicked off YouTube nowadays. It might blackball you off of there.
I know old George Lopez. You remember. Yeah, 10 a.m. tee off. Now he's going to bed. Yeah. But I'm going to go ahead and sign off here. We're going to talk after hours, but make sure to tune in for that. More great videos coming. And I did restart the Beer 101 series, which is great. So I did this week with the SRM. I have more stuff like that. Talking about different things around beer, hops, beer type stuff, terminology. So if you're looking to learn more about beer reviews, I'll still have those coming as well. But I feel like everybody and their mom is doing beer reviews at this point. So I want to kind of give you guys some other stuff different too. But make sure to stay tuned to the channel and go ahead and sign off here. Everybody have a great weekend, and we will catch you next week.
Cheers.
Absolutely. Cheers, guys.